Nigeria. So nice to meet you. Don't forget if you can turn on your camera so we can see. I was about to say if you can unmute your camera. If you can turn on your camera so we can see your face, turn it on, let us see you. And what we're going to be doing right now is just in the chat box, type in what you're expecting today, what your expectation is today, especially if you have been in the mentorship program or you have been part of Emerging Women before. Just type what you're expecting today. For me today, I'm expecting another mindset shift. Every single event that I've ever had with Mrs. C has always been something that I actually emerge a much better person. So I'm really, really hi Bolo Atife. It's nice to see your face. Hello. So just put in the chat box what you're expecting from today. Like I was saying, I know that at the end of today, I will have emerged with so much more than I came to this place with. So I'm waiting for our comments in case you're still typing. I'm waiting for our comments, what you're expecting from today. Sorry, I want to grab my keyboard very quickly. What you're expecting from today, just type it in the chat box and let us see. I'm still looking in the chat box. I'm waiting for our comments, what we're expecting from today's summit. Let's have a bit more exciting energy. It doesn't have to be a very, very long sentence. You can just do something brief, something short about what you're expecting from today. It's a celebration of the fullness of who you are. So let's see that. Oh, okay. Abiola says she's expecting to have a wonderful session. Of course, we literally titled it Wonder, celebrating the full woman. So it's definitely going to be a very, very wonderful session. Oluwatoyosi says she's expecting emergence, like something is going to come out, it's going to pop out. That's really amazing. I'm checking the chat box. Any other comments? What are you expecting from today? Okay, Evelyn says, just as a theme wonder, I look forward to having a wonderful session. Let's keep coming in the chat box what we're expecting from today. Don't forget that we are here to celebrate you, the boundless person that you are. There's so much more to you than meets the eye, and that's what we're here to look at. Celebrate that wonder that you are. Have an inspiring session. Let's keep coming in the chat box. Sorry if you're unmuted. Let me just, if you're unmuted, just mute so that there's less interference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, without further ado, I want to welcome our very, very own Mrs. C. I have the honor of introducing a woman like whose wisdom. I remember my first encounter with the Emerging Woman. It was just very, 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 it was a very wholesome experience for me. And it propelled me to want to do so much more with myself, with my life. So I want to introduce the woman who brought this entire thing to be, the woman whose wisdom, she has given herself, she has sacrificed a lot to ensure that other women can live up to standard. So let's welcome together Mrs. C. If you can unmute yourself and clap, please do so. I'm clapping here. Hi, Mrs. C.
Hello. Hi. It's good to see everyone. How are you guys doing? Good. Well, good morning from my own end. Thank you so much, Nosa. You've started us off on an exciting note. How is everyone doing? Hello. If you can hear me, can you please let me know? if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. It's good to have you guys. Happy International Women's Day. I should start from that place. Hi. Oh, I can see my director, Muni Oluwa. It's so good to see you. How are you guys doing? How are you today? How are you feeling about the International Women's Day? For some reason, I feel like I've not been getting the excitement vibe of International Women's Day publicly today. I don't know why, particularly in Nigeria. I know that Nigeria is a place that takes this kind of thing seriously, but for some reason, I don't know. I don't know if it's what is happening in the political landscape that is affecting us this year, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, Sha. I might be wrong, but I feel like I've not gotten that vibe, much of that vibe yet. But happy International Women's Day to you. Well, happy Women's Month. I think the whole of March is Women's Month, so it's just as exciting. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Emerging Women Summit. So we usually run two of these summits and two of these events every year. Last year we did the summit, and then we did the conference that was live physically in Ibadan, Nigeria. How many people were at the conference last year in August? Yeah, oh, I'm seeing all the happy International Women's Day. Oh, you guys are amazing, amazing. Esther said she was there. Oh, yeah, amazing. You were there, Aduriola. Amazing. Okay, so the Emerging Women Summit is usually a virtual one. This one we host around the International Women's Day, basically to just, come together, celebrate ourselves as I meet the incredible women that we have. And I remember that last year we were our conversation last year was really around navigating emergence. And I'm starting from there for a reason. And as at that time, what I was really speaking about, what we were speaking about the most was understanding that, our life is a journey. And the whole idea of this project started out for me as an individual, as a recognition of the fact that our life is always a journey. And there's really no destination like that in that sense, in the sense that, everywhere that you think is an arrival is still part of the journey. Whatever you think, whatever you think forms a great life, by the time you get there, you still realize that there's still more ahead of you. There's still a lot more possibilities. There's still a lot you can do. There's still a lot you can be. So, and I was beginning to feel like the conversation, particularly around International Women's Day, was not really putting that into consideration. There was a sense as if, we should aim high, and the high meant certain things. If you understand what I mean, the high meant certain things, aim to be the first woman in this, be the CEO of that, and all of that. And my own, let me use the word fight, and I mean that playfully. My own fight was, why not understand that women are always on a journey? So why do we need to wait for them to get to a certain destination to prove themselves before we feel that they are worthy of some level of celebrations? And I understand, I understand that, yes, of course, we have to, if you want to do awards or things like that, which we're going to do today, excitingly, we're having the 16 Emerging Women Award today. You still have to sort of limit numbers. For example, the Emerging Women Award, we had over 200 nominations, and we wanted just 60 women. That didn't mean that every other person was not doing amazing work. It's just because we were limited, really. But I also understood that there was, beyond all of the issue of limitations of numbers in terms of if you want to do a showcase and all of that, there was also a silent and subtle conversation that was being passed along, particularly to the young women, that made it look as if you are only deserving of a certain kind of celebration and recognition and significance only when you have attained a certain kind of place, a certain kind of professional accomplishment, a certain kind of personal contribution, and things like that, which I was trying to say, it's not true. It's not true. It's as simple as that. It's simply not true. If we're celebrating women, let's celebrate women. If we're celebrating women, let's celebrate women. We don't need to put caveats. We don't need to put adjectives. Do you understand? We don't need, if we're celebrating women, let's celebrate women. That was literally what started all of this for me. The idea that wherever they are in their journey, they are already worthy of the celebration. They are, wherever they are in their journey, wherever they because the people who supposedly are ahead had times when their life journey did not look like that. They also went through a journey. But particularly over the last 1 year, I feel like even my thought of that has sort of evolved a little bit more. And it has moved a bit from not just saying, don't wait until women get to a certain arrival point before you celebrate them. Don't wait until they have become a CEO or whatever you want to call it, or they've done events that brought 10,000. I don't know, whatever, however you think of what accomplishment or mission means to you. My conversation of that have evolved a little bit from saying don't just wait for that to it has evolved even to say that our lives are bigger than that. That even if the woman is in that space in their life, that is still not all that is worthy of celebration in their lives. That's my point. And that's why we tagged this particular summit, Celebrating the Full Woman. It's really to, first of all, do it for ourselves before we then demand it from the world, because we have to demand it. Do it for ourselves to remind ourselves that, our lives are bigger than our milestones, that our lives are bigger than our achievement, our lives are bigger than the places. How do I say this? Our lives are bigger than the spotlightly spot of our lives. I'm sure that everyone here, there've been areas of your life that felt a bit spotlightly. You got a scholarship, you were featured in an award, like some people are going to be today. You graduated, you made a wonderful grade, I don't know, you got promoted at work, or you even got a job, or you did an amazing job at work, somebody commended you, and all of that. But the truth is that if we actually sit back and think about it, just thinking statistically, let's just even leave it at statistic level, you realize that the bigger proportion of your life is actually in the ordinary everyday. Like I always say to my emerging women circle people, those are the mentorship people who are excitingly graduating today. Our course is graduating today too. So this is like a 3-in-1 event. We're having all of this wonderful conversation. We're having the 16 women emerging women award for 2024, and then we are graduating our amazing Ward 2 members of the mentorship the mentorship arm of the program, which is called the Emerging Circle. And I always say this, it just think statistically and think about your 24 hours. How many of that 24 hours do you really spend in spotlightly parts? How many of your days do you actually spend in spotlightly positions? How many of your days is really a professional accomplishment? What happens when you're on your bed, when there's no one else there? Does your life feel, is your life, I don't know, is your life reduced at that point? Do you understand? So the conversation that I'm even evolving this year is more like, as not just that we don't have to wait until certain time or certain kind of milestones before we celebrate women as the significant people that they are, but also that even those significant contributions are just a portion, and many times a really small portion of our lives. There's so much more to us than the things we get done at our jobs. There's so much more. What makes us, like the way I like to say it is, what makes us great is not that we do great things. We actually do great things because we are actually already great already. And I don't mean that great. And every time I use that word great, I'm always careful, because I know that our word has really reduced some of those words. There's a way that it has become a lens in our mind that when I say someone is great, we automatically quickly, I almost, because I don't have a lot of time, I would have tested it and say, when I say someone is great, let me try in 1 minute. When I say someone is great, what do you think the person is? What comes to your mind? What kind of person do you see immediately? What kind of picture comes to your mind? Please, if you can use the chat, please help me. There's something I'm trying to show. When I say someone is great, what kind of picture, what do you think the person is? What do you think of that person almost instantly? Anyone wants to use the chat? I just need 1 or 2 comments about this. I achieve Olamide. Thank you. Thank you. Let me wait for one or two more. President of America. I love the honesty. Sadly enough, America has not been fortunate enough to have a female president yet. Someone who is successful in all areas of their life. So you see that there's that sense doing exceedingly more than others. Can you guys see? There's that sense of greatness being connected to what you are able to produce. That thing is actually what I'm after in this conversation, is to show that our greatness is not just in our production. Our greatness is not just in the things that the world can call success. Can you be on your bed doing nothing that day and still think you are great? That is the conversation here. I'm not saying be lazy and be lazy on your bed. That's not what I mean. But I mean, are you able to sustain the same view of yourself on the day that you're on the podium receiving an award, and on the day that you're on your bed just lying down? That's the question here. Are you able to sustain that same view of greatness, the greatness that you carry on your inside on both days at the same level? That is what I'm talking about here. Do you understand? Let me know if you understand what I'm saying now. Because it's important to me that you get the point of this. Because I realize that even the more I've been saying it, the more even responses from people responding to me and all that, there's just that sense of we're so tied to this sense of accomplishment. And it's wonderful, because I can understand women have, anyone who's on my mailing list, which I think everyone should be now, must have heard me say this a lot, that it's true. Women have had it rough to be able to even get recognition. And I'm saying recognition for the amazing work and contribution we have made in the world. But right now, I feel like part of the issues that we are having is that we are being caged into thinking that our sense of value and worth and greatness is completely tied to those things. That on the days that for whatever reason you are not able to accomplish anything, it's more difficult to think of yourself as great on those days. That's what we are trying to talk about here, is to show that our lives, the core of our lives, the core of what it means to be a woman who is valuable, who is great, is not just in our production, it's in our person. Would we contribute? Absolutely. Would we do great things? Yeah. Would we have amazing stride? Yes. Would we break barriers, break glass ceilings, do amazing things, incredible things in the world? Absolutely. But the question is, would we rest our entire sense of worth upon those things? The question is, that's where we had this. No. You just imagine the freedom of being able to and the word is freedom. Imagine the freedom of being able to know that it is not the award, or it's not the day you are getting an award that actually eventually showed that you are a wonderful person and you are great, and you are someone who is worthy to be listened to and whatever. That you are able to think of it on the days that you're on your bed when you don't even know the next step to take. Imagine the freedom of that. Just imagine it for a minute. And like I said in one of my previous emails, I was saying that, the funny thing I found over the years of following this path deliberately, I found that people who are able to understand that eventually do more. And when I say do more, I don't even mean more in terms of size. I mean more in terms of they are able to actually bring other people into a stronger sense of wholeness, where our lives are not fragile. We are not up today because things are going great. We are down tomorrow because things are not. We're just going up and down. Yeah. Okay. We're still going to have a lot of conversation about this, and I hope it's a conversation you are excited about, because I am excited to have it. I know that these kind of conversations are not conversations that are had easily, and I also know that they are not a kind of conversation that you probably find on International Women's Day, but it is necessary. It is necessary. We need more women who have fortitude in themselves, and trust me, it's in my little experience of having been among the people we call greats in all of that, I've seen that, honestly, accomplishments are great, but they can never still make you. They can't. They won't. You always feel like you are clutching into something that never holds still. So we need something that brings us into a stronger sense of fortitude. Can we put the line of conversation here? I'm not sure what you mean by that. We are going to have a stronger sense of fortitude if we take this better path. And so I'm excited. We're going to have one of our speakers, first of all, give us a bit of a keynote speech before we then go into a panel session. So basically today, expect my question. The question that so I think what you are calling my question should be when I was saying that you can do us the honors of putting it in the chat. I can say it again and you can do it and put it in the chat to look at your day. Thank you. What I was asking the other time is that are you able to look at yourself on the day that you are receiving an award and on the day that you're on your bed and think of yourself as great in the same way? That's what I'm talking about here. That's what I'm talking about. All right, thank you. So we're going to have a short keynote speech for one of our speakers, and then we're also going to have a panel. We're actually going to have 2 panel sessions, and then we're going to have exciting stuff. We're going to review our 16 Emerging Women 2025. We're going to also celebrate with the graduating set of the Emerging Cohort 2, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to a great time. On behalf of everyone who has worked at the back end of this, trust me, so many people have worked on this. This has been a collective labor of love of amazing, amazing women who have put their time, their energy, their resources, who I'm extremely proud of. On behalf of everyone and on behalf of the entire team, I want to say, welcome. Thank you for coming. And I hope that you are actually also, please share with your friends. I think we have the link, right? The admin, do we have the link? We can drop the link in the chat so that people can also share with friends. People can join us either here on YouTube, invite your friends. You can drop it on your WhatsApp status while we are here, so that we can, have more people join us to have this really rich conversation. On behalf of everyone, I say thank you and welcome. And I think we're going to be going over to the keynote speech now. I think our speaker is here already, right? Yep, she is. Hi, Tolu. Can you please confirm that you are here?
Hello, Toyin. Can you hear me?
Amazing.
Okay, great.
So before we bring Tolu on board, because we understand that, of course, not everyone knows who she is, we just have like a short intro video that I'm going to play on from my end so you can have a sense of who Tolu is, or more like what she does, honestly. More like what she does.
Mhm.
And then we are going to bring her on board. Tolu, could you give me 1 minute to play that short video? And we can have you come on board. Okay. A minute, please. Okay. I think I have it. 1 minute, please.
Tolokwe Ariaye is a product innovation and development professional with 6 years experience in the fast-moving consumable goods industry. She has worked across various functions within the industry, including manufacturing, research and development, and marketing. She's a budding biotechnologist on a mission to apply biotechnology in the innovation of high-quality, sustainable products with focus on food and biodegradable consumables. Tolulokwa is currently studying to acquire a master's degree in biotechnology and bioprocess engineering at Wageningen University in Research, Netherlands, as an African leadership scholar.
Can we please welcome Tolu in the chat? And also with like a clapping emoji before I turn it over to her. Tolu, I'm trying to spotlight you. Okay. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Yes, it's good to be here. Welcome again to everyone that's here. Um, like the introduction already said, my name is Tolulope Area. I like to call myself Tolulope Itwa Area. I'm currently a student, a master's student, and personally, I'm passionate about a lot of things, but one of the things I really like to talk about is the woman, exactly as how she's supposed to be, who she's supposed to be, how her life is supposed to be. Um, and that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. It was nice to hear a lot of things from Tony, and it was interesting to hear the thoughts around, being a woman of yourself, being that person that you are, whether you're sleeping or waking up, whether you're having an award, whether life is going great or it's not exactly going how you've planned it, just being that person who's real, who's true to themselves. And today I would like to start with, giving us a picture of how you need to define yourself so that you don't allow society to define who you should be for you. Because the reason why it looks as if a lot of times women have this, how do I say it, up and down with our emotions. And I can check it out with you. Why do you think sometimes you're not really certain of who you are, or you're not sure of who you are? Can you put some of the answers in the chat box, please? Why do you think, what happens to you, or what are the instances that makes you begin to doubt your personality? I would like to have some interactions in the chat room. Just tell me, have there been times where you're like, oh, I don't think I'm up to who I am. I'm not sure, I'm doing great right now. And what are those things that trigger, for instance, what are those things that trigger, yes, thank you. Someone says mistakes, failure. What are those things that trigger those thoughts? Mood swings, good, good. So some of these things trigger your thoughts, and then you begin to wonder, am I even up to who I think I am? Am I seeking validation, beautiful, when I don't seem to get things right? Imposter syndrome. I love imposter syndrome. Now, on this matter, I would spotlight imposter syndrome and maybe failure. What makes you think you're failed? And what makes you think you have imposter syndrome when I don't achieve what I want to do? Now, what are those things that make us feel like this? It's either because you're comparing yourself to something or to somebody, or there is a definition in your head that you think you're not meeting up to, that you have not defined yourself a lot of times. It's because society has defined it, or somebody else sees it. Let me be more straight. Are there times when, for instance, you're happy about your life, you're going about your day, you're okay. All of a sudden, you see a post on social media and your day begins to get scattered. Anybody, has that happened to you before? That maybe the day is going good, you're doing what you have to do, and then you just see somebody's post, maybe on social media, or you just get a call from somebody, and you see what they're doing, or you see the kind of things that is being celebrated, and all of a sudden you just feel like, am I doing so much? Yeah, yes, people are saying yes, yes, yes. Now these are the issues, because there's a picture that society keeps painting for us, that if you don't paint a picture for your own self, you will unconsciously be led by the picture society is painting without you knowing, right? You will begin to really think that who you're supposed to be is based on what society has defined that you're supposed to be. But we'll look a little bit today at, how do I even find myself? So that this instability that people are talking, that Tony was just talking about, this instability, my mood is up today, I feel great today, tomorrow I feel like I'm not that there, there's nothing much about me. The moment you define yourself and you have a picture of who you are and it's before you, irrespective of what anybody is doing, where anyone is going, there's a certainty that comes from that picture that you've created. I don't know if that makes sense to somebody, but let me share my screen. I have a little presentation for us in a few minutes, and I'll just take us through how we can begin to, see things differently. If you can see my screen, you can let me know. Oh, okay. Good. Okay. So please just let me know in the chat room if you can see my screen, if it's looking good.
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. So I start reality check. We're doing a reality check, a quick reality check, right? And the first question I want to ask you, and I want you to just think about it. You may not have all of the time to put the answers down, but just think about it. Question one is, who are you? Now, I'm not asking you the way they ask you in an interview. Assume that you're invited to a kind of interview that is self-reflective interview. This is not for a job. This is not for a scholarship. This is not for an admission. This is you before somebody. Imagine it's a therapist, for instance. You want to have therapy, and the person says, "Who are you?" I'm Now, I'm not asking for your achievements. I'm not asking for your results or the absence of those results. No, I'm asking for on the core, on the inside of you, who do you see yourself as? Because the picture you have of yourself begins to determine how you live out your life. Whether you're doing great things or you're not even sure, quote and unquote, these great things we call great things, or you're just living your everyday life trying to get along. The picture of who you call yourself determines how far you go. So that's the first question. Think about it. Minus my results. I'm not asking you to say I have a first class, I have a third class, or I attended this university, or and this is what I'm passionate about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about your behavior. Oh, I'm sanguine. I'm lively. I'm the life of the party. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the core of you. Can you see that we are stripping you now of all of the things that you think have made you, and we're trying to find out in the core inside of you, who are you? That's first question. Second question is, what drives you? And I find this question very important and very interesting because when you know what drives you, you can exactly know where you should be, what your speed should be, how fast you should move, when you should calm down, what you should give your energy to. And you can see the picture of two cars, right? I'll tell you why. Because if you look at these two cars, they're cars anyway. And the immediate difference that you see between the both of them is their body. So one car looks so new, so nice. The other one passing across looks like it's old, it's just big, but it's not that beautiful, maybe. But the truth is, the main difference between these two cars is not really the body, it's the engine. The engine, what really drives the car. So I don't know how many of us have seen a Tesla. If you've seen a Tesla before, you realize that it's not the most beautiful car out there. I'm talking about a normal Tesla, the electric one. There's nothing fascinating about it. There are so many other cars, Toyota Corollas, that are more beautiful. But you know why it's a rave? It's the engine. The engine determines the speed, the performance, the reliability, how far this car can go, the results. So you are more than your body, you're more than your achievements, you are more than how fast you're even moving. What is making that possible is what drives you. What are your core values? What do you hold on to? What do you sit upon as a person? So that on the days when you fail, you're not shaken by the results. The inner core of who you are is it still holds you together. You need to find out what your engine is. What drives me? Where am I moving towards? Why do I move like this? Why do I respond like this? Why do I do the things I do? There has to be a core of you. These are the things you need to take out time to find out about yourself.
Oh,
Sorry, I think this should be the third. That's a mistake. The third reality check is, where's your place? Where's your place? Now, if you look at the picture again, you see a fish and you see some fish and some birds, right? Now, the fish are in water having their life, enjoying themselves, and the birds are flying as they should. They have found their place. And it's not a struggle for them to exist in that space because it belongs to them. Those habitats, so to say, were made naturally for these animals. And if you try to exchange things, for instance, it will all fall apart. So you have to ask yourself, where's my place? Now, I'm saying here that society is constantly dictating to women where we should be. Sometimes they say it's the kitchen. Sometimes some guys say it's the other room. Sometimes they say These days they say it's boardrooms, right? That's what we celebrate every day. This woman is now in the board here of this company, or she's running this business, or she's doing this great thing, and then you start looking at yourself and saying, what am I doing in my life? Guess what? Whether it's in the kitchen, or you're in the other room, or you're in the boardroom, or you're doing business, or you're just in school, it does not matter. What matters is, where am I supposed to be by per time? You cannot allow society to define where your place should be. Not everyone will be in the boardroom. Not everyone will run a business. I'm telling you, if your place is to be a homemaker and raise your kids properly, it's okay. You just have to understand what you have to be the one defining these things, not society, not the people around you. Because what begins to happen is, if society begins to define everything that you do, you begin to move with the tide of people. So you're looking at social media, and what's the rave right now is girls appearing a certain type of way, doing BBL, having extra bodies, and they're being celebrated for that. Unconsciously, you will begin to move in that direction because you don't have a clarity of what your place is, who you are, where you should be at per time. You don't have an understand, and these things don't have to be 100% clear. You just need to have an idea. Tomorrow, society, and society is very unfair, and society is very unstable, right? Today they say the best way, the women that we give recognition to the most, that makes sense, are these ones that are married to great men, that are right by their side, supporting him and raising their children. That's the ideal picture, and we celebrate that. And before you know it, everyone is running towards that. And then suddenly they come and they say, oh no, the women we are celebrating right now are these women who are shattering glass ceilings. They're doing great things out there, oh, give them all the accolades. And then you begin to, so you see where the dilly dialing comes from. You start shaking from left to right. You start wondering, so you now start feeling bad that you're just at home taking care of your children because society has now said that you should be somewhere else. Do you see these things? So you need to know, where's my place? Where do I want to? You have to define it before a man even comes into your life. You can't wait for a man to define it for you. Your definition of where you want to be determines who you then end up getting married to. That's the best way it should work. If you work the other way around, then that's when issues start coming up. But anyway, this is the third reality check for you. Okay, yes, so it's been interchanged. I'm so sorry about that. Now the fourth one is, what do you believe about yourself? If there's nobody in the room, who do you see when you look in the mirror? Now look at this image. It's like a lion looking in the picture. And this lion is fierce. I'm looking at the lion myself and I'm like, wow, so fierce. But guess what? The lion is looking in the mirror and sees a cat. There's almost nothing you can do to help that lion. It will always act like a cat. The most accurate picture of yourself is who God made. But the most realistic picture of yourself is who you see. So there's somebody God has made you to be. There's so much is put on the inside of you, but it will never come to play. It will never become a realistic image of you until you believe it. You have to believe that there's more to you than your fine face and your nice figure and even the work that you do. And that's why I'm trying to bring this balance so that we're not just emerging women because we're going to be award-winning women and there's some of us who will be homemakers, who will just be at home and take care of the children and build a dynasty for yourself like that, with your children, with your family, with your business, and you're just content. And that's okay. But you have to understand that your life is your life is an expression of who you are. It's not the other way around. You are your values, not your results. So the things that you live by, are the things that determine what comes out of you. It doesn't have to be a particular box. So even if it looks like you're not sure of where you are right now, you have to start with answering these questions. What do you believe about yourself? If you believe that you're not more than your beautiful face and your nice body, that's all you'll be showing the world every day. And when they begin to take advantage of that, you can't afford to be angry because that's what you're saying. By the way that you propel that part of you. Everything about you is not also even your mind. There are people that think, oh, I'm so intelligent, I'm smart. This is all that this is about me. But that's not even all. Your mind is also just a part of you. And if all that you project is just your mind, I'm intelligent, I'm a go-getter, you guess what you're going to become? Very competitive, very toxic. You will begin to aim for things at the detriment of other people because you have made that thing your God. Right? So what do you believe about yourself? Think about it. And then lastly, how do you want to be remembered? And I'm not talking legacy right now because we talk a lot about legacy, and like Tony was saying earlier, we bastardized some of these words. So when you say legacy, you're thinking, oh, what's that big thing I want to leave? I want to have presence on the earth when I've left, or something like that. But I'm talking more impact. How do you want people to feel after they leave a conversation with you? So you have a conversation with someone and they leave your presence. How do you want them to feel? What are the thoughts and memories and feelings you want people to have about you? How do you want them to conceive you? How do you want your family to conceive you? How do you want your friends to think of you? What's the impact you really want to leave? You should be thinking. So these are the things that begin to frame you up, frame a picture of who you should be. That gives you a balance in life. That wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever stage, even if it looks like you're failing now, even if it looks like you're making mistakes, you have a correct perception of who you are. And from that perception, you're able to find yourself and start all over if you have to, and pick up yourself and run again if you have to. All right. So what I will do lastly now is to give you an example, just a little example of how I see myself and some of the things I believe about myself, so that it begins to help you to picture your own have your own picture, to write your own image, to write your own story, to begin to then have this thought of who am I and who do I want to be and how do I want to be remembered and what do I believe about myself, right? Okay, so this is me. And I'm using a very simple picture here that's staring you right in the face so that you know that I'm just a girl like you. We're all on this journey. We're all, just like some of my friends would say, it's like you're just winging it. You're trying. So it's not like anybody has really gotten to a particular place, right? We're all on this journey. But I have come to the point where I realize that my entire life is who I'm supposed to be. Not that I'm not waiting for an end point. My everyday life is who I'm supposed to be. So first I'm asking myself, who am I? And first I say I'm a woman. And I put this, dots because I can go on and on about being a woman. What does it even mean to be a woman? I need you to reorganize your mind um away from how do I say this? Reorganize your mind away from what religion has told you about a woman. Bring your mind back. Just try and play a picture of what was on God's mind when he made a woman. And it would have been nice to go so deep into scriptures, the Bible, but we will not go there today because that's not the focus. The focus is, as a woman, you are not an afterthought. I know there's a lot of things religion has said, and I'm not speaking religion. I'm Christian, so I'm not against religion. But I'm saying that you must believe, there are things you must believe for yourself beyond what has been said to you. First, you're not an afterthought. Secondly, you were not made for a man. And I can teach this for the whole day. God did not make you because a man couldn't survive or because a man needed help the way we make it look like. No. God made you out of necessity. There was a need, not out of obligation. So you need to have this understanding. It was not as if, oh, okay, let's just make this woman, let her be helping this man. That's not the idea. There was a work that he had given humanity. The first man that was made, that is called Adam now, does not exist anymore. It's not the man that we are seeing every day. This man had male and female within him. That's what Bible teaches. Because the Bible says male and female, he made them. And so when he blessed this Adam, he had the woman on the inside of him. So she received the blessing of dominion. She also received the blessing of fruitfulness. She also received the blessing of multiplication. So there is nothing that is achievable upon this God's green earth that you as a woman cannot get to. You have to reorientate your mind like that. and see that I'm not a second fiddle. I'm not an afterthought. I was not built upon somebody. God already had me in his mind from the very beginning. However, he hid me within a man initially so that the necessity for my presence can be established. So when you were hid within him, God then says, oh, okay, this work that I've given this man, he can't even do it. It's a struggle for him. So I bring this woman out of him, give her a physical expression so they can do this work together. So the work that we're doing together is purpose, is, fulfilling God's mandate on the earth. It's not a certain man's special work. Mm-mm. It's mandate. So when you have this mindset, it helps you to even have the right conversations when you want to get married. Do you see? Because you're then seeing yourself as a whole entity that has purpose, that has assignment. This man also has assignment, and we begin to have the conversation. Can we work together to achieve this bigger purpose? Because I'm not going to be, when God brought out the woman, the idea was not to put her back inside of him in marriage. So the idea is not to hide you again, and you begin to hide under him, and everything that you do. And that's what the society has begun to teach us. We see a lot of young girls, and all their mind is a man. Oh, when I get married, oh, a man is, oh, the way you're taking a picture, the way you're posting pictures, the way you're dressing unconsciously, is so that you can aggravate and exaggerate your appearance so that a man can put a price on you. It's an unconscious mindset. How do I say it? Mindset preparation that society is doing for you. And this is why you have to consciously set your own mindset. You have to consciously be aware. So this is who I am. I'm a woman, and it's important that I know. I'm not competing with a man. I'm not even looking for equality. I am aware of my equality. And so I step into possibilities and take space. I'm not trying to make a man feel like I'm equal to him. I don't need to prove a point. I am already equal. I'm already made equal, right? So I just step into the possibilities and take space and express the fullness of who I am. So I'm not even trying to compete. I'm not trying to become the MD of a bank. Honestly, no, that's not my mission or my vision. As you can see, my mission is to live a life of excellence and integrity. That's it. So wherever I find myself, I begin to express excellence and integrity. That's what is backing me up. This is the core. See, and there is no way that you have an understanding of this core that it doesn't begin to lead you in the right direction. This is my call. I'm a woman of excellence and integrity. And this is as I said, live a life. The first thing is to live. So even if I was called to sweep a room, I will sweep it with an understanding that I'm living a life of excellence and integrity. And because I believe that I want to leave an impact, I will sweep that room in such a way that the next person that comes into that room knows that somebody swept it. This is how you have to live your life. Do you see? And then so from that mission, I begin to translate it into a mandate that then helps me to exemplify and replicate this excellence and integrity in every sphere of life, wherever I've been sent to. It may be my family, it may just be my home, it may be my husband, it may be my business, it may be career. But what I'm doing is living first a life of excellence and then exemplifying it and replicating it. This is who I am. So when you ask me who I am, this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you I'm a first class graduate of the uni. The only reason why I made a first class is because I believe that within me is excellence and integrity. So I will make a first class, but I will not make it by cheating because I have integrity. Do you see? I will go anywhere and I'll be excellent because I already know that I have to live a life of excellence. So this is who I am. Now, what is my core values? What drives me, right? This is what drives me, faith. And when I say faith, that's why I said faith. I did not say church. I did not say religion. I'm not against that. I'm a Christian by all ramifications. But see, your faith has to become your faith. It has to be what you believe about God, what you believe about life, what you believe about salvation, what you believe about life after death. It has to be your own faith. So an understanding of who God calls you. For instance, my own faith tells me who God has said I am. And by an understanding of that, that's how I live out my life. It's become my faith. Then secondly is family. And when I say family, I'm not just talking about people related to me by blood. I'm saying everyone who's connected to me or within my sphere of influence, either by blood, by covenant, or by choice. Do you see? So it includes my friends as well. that are important to me. So it's by blood, by covenant, or by choice. And they're important to me because everything that I do has an effect on them. So before I take a step, I'm thinking, how does this affect my husband? How would it affect my children? How would it affect my, siblings? How does it affect my parents? This is how you have to think as a whole. So this is what begins to drive you in the direction of what you do. Then third is my core value is excellence. And it already shows in the creation of who I am. Excellence. So like I said, if I'm asked to sweep a room, I will sweep it excellently. Not because I want to prove a point, but because I'm expressing who I am. You see? And then impact, like I said, I'm particular about how people see me and what they get out of conversations with me, what they get out of interaction with me. I'm intentional about putting, an idea in their heads after I've left. And then integrity. So, where's my place, right? Where's my place? The globe, the world as it is. And it doesn't have to be the globe for you. It can be smaller than that. But for me, based on an understanding of who I am, that my faith teaches me, I realize that my place is the globe. So, and this is what also keeps me going, that irrespective of how far I've gone, I understand that my mandate is to the globe. And so I just keep pursuing. I'm not satisfied. I'm not troubled. I'm not pushed. It may look, for instance, I've been working for about 6 years and then I give up all of my work. I'm a manager. I'm doing great. And I come back and do a master's. And it looks unreasonable. When I was leaving work, my boss was like, this doesn't make sense. You go back and no, you can do your master's online. And I said, no. Why can I make such a decision? I understand that my mandate is to the globe. Do you see? And so my place is also my faith community, the people that we believe the same things. I have a mandate to them. My mandate is also to Africa because I'm African. And I've come to understand there's a lot of marginalization from interacting with the globe. Do you see? So I know that this is also my place. I know that my place is also with women. It's a lot of things women can understand better. Okay, I'm running out of time. And then the corporate world, science and innovation, my home. So these are some of the things that you have to create a picture for yourself. It keeps you going. And what do I believe about myself? I can teach about this the whole day. If you do not have a correct perception of yourself, your life will be undulating. Yes, and you will not be able to take space. You will not be able to show up like you should. Some of the things I believe about this, I'm complete. I'm not waiting for anybody to complete me. I'm not waiting for anybody's validation. I'm not waiting for anything. I am complete. I'm a full. That's why we're talking about the full woman, right? I'm a full human being. Everything that I need, I already have. I go back to the analogy of a car. Everything a car needs to be a car comes with it. If it doesn't come with it, it's not a car. Everything, so any other thing that you need, maybe fuel and all of those things, are just additions to propel the movement. But what allows that car to function is the engine. It already comes with it. Do you see? So when you're answering these questions, you don't need to look off. You need to just take a screen of yourself and think about your own self. So first, I'm complete. Like I said, I lack nothing. It doesn't matter what's happening currently with me now. I am aware that I am not in lack. Everything I need to make my life what should be, I already have. I only need to tap into it. I only need to push into it. I only need to awaken it, to grow it. But I'm not outsourcing anything. I'm not trying to get anything from outside to make my life what it should be. Do you see? So I have all I need for life. I have access to all I desire. If there's anything I desire to be based on who I believe that I am, I have access to it already. God made me with everything I need and also gave me access. That is what my faith teaches me. So you see how your faith also comes to play. Your core values come to play in answering some of these questions. They're all intertwined. Do you see? Now I am capable. I do not believe that there's anything I want to do that I'm not able to do. I'm capable. I am capable. I'm strong. I'm wise. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. I am capable. So do you see? I'm not trying to. So because the moment you start putting yourself down already, and it's because I'm not able to, I cannot. No. If there is something you cannot do, it's because maybe you're not meant to do it. Then, but if you identify something that you would love to do, trust me, you're already capable. You're able. You only need to sharpen those skills. You only need to wake up to it. You only need to awaken yourself to it. I'm not an afterthought. I talked about that when I was speaking about the woman. You're not something that God thought about later. The way religion makes us believe that that's true. This man, okay, oh, so sad. He's lonely. Okay, let's make somebody to keep him company. That's not what you are. God didn't make you to keep a man company. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against family. I'm very married, okay? But the truth is, your honor before a man will only come when you are certain of who you are. When you know you're not an afterthought, I'm not playing second fiddle to you. I'm not, see, let me make it clear. You're not even supposed to submit to every man. You're supposed to submit to your own. Bible even says your own husband. So I don't go about outside looking at all the men and think I'm second fiddle to these people. I'm not. I'm not. The only person I give honor and respect to is my husband. I respect every other human being, but I will not submit to you. I will not feel second to you. It's only within the sphere of my home that I'm second in command because there has to be regulation within the home. So do you see, your mindset has to be active. And I don't need validation. I'm saying this because we're all young women here. And unconsciously, we all seek validation, either from our fathers, because when you ask people, they say, oh, daddy issues. I didn't have a daddy who validated me. Wake up from it. It already happened. And it's not like I don't feel for you. I understand. I know how it feels. A lot of us grew up without that much validation. I mean, this is Africa. But you need to wake up to the fact that you don't need validation to become who you are. You already have all you need. So you can validate yourself. You need to begin to look in the mirror and validate yourself, irrespective of your mistakes. Mistakes is part of life. Mistakes are part of life. It will happen. Things will go wrong, but you have to wake up and realize that nobody's coming to deliver me. No. God already put everything I need for my own deliverance within me. So it's between myself and my creator. We speak about it. And I begin to move based on that. So there are a lot of conversations we'll have today, but I just want you, as we speak, to have, to look at these questions that I've asked you to ask yourself critically and begin to think of what the answers are. It will give your life a whole new meaning. Thank you very much for listening again. I am Tolulope Itwa area. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tolu. This has been really good. Really, really good. Like really, really good. I'm sure I'm going to get feedback in the chat about how this has been for you. This has been amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Nosa, are you here? I think we have I have to turn it first back to you before we turn it back to ourselves.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Can we see me now?
Yes, we
Want to be
can.
sure that. All right, very good. So very quickly, whatever you learned, just put in the chat box something that stood out for you out of everything that she said. I already saw some comments in the chat box, so let's put in the chat box something that really stood out for you. One thing that stood out for me, see my very giant notes that I've been using to take notes, is what do I believe about myself? And that's the place where we had the picture of that lion, but was seeing itself as a cat. So what stood out for you in the entire session that we just had with Mrs. Tolu? Thank you so much for that. It was very, very inspiring. It was eye-opening. Oh yeah, Diana says that the part that she caught was about identity in Christ. She says, Diana also says that being a woman is not an afterthought or a mistake. God is not confused about what he created. That's really, really powerful when you see how many times you're subjugated as a woman or your experience is invalidated, but you know that the one that created you, he didn't create you as an afterthought or as a mistake. He was very, very intentional in creating you. That was so wonderful. Ademola says that you are your value, not your result. And that's really, really key. Blessing says, I am complete. I don't need anyone's validation. Exceedingly amazing. Oh, everybody's learning so much. I really love that. Please, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Oluwatoyosi says, I am complete and capable enough to achieve my goals. Thank you, everyone. Please keep it coming. It's really, really nice to see that we're paying attention and that we're really going to leave this meeting emerging with amazing thoughts, with things that will drive us further. And second thing that we're going to do right now is question 5 was, how do you want to be remembered? And she was saying how that we should not just think about the big things. I'm going to build 10 schools across the entire world, and it's going to have this, it's going to have that. Those things that may seem minute, how do you want to be remembered? Can we put in the chat box something that is something, it could be something really small, something minute that you may have overlooked. How do you want to be remembered? For me, I want to be remembered as a safe space. I want to be remembered as somebody that, even if you might have had a very, very bad day, even if you've had a very bad day, when you come into the same space as I am, you automatically feel better, because the things that I do, it makes you feel better. The way I will converse with you, the way I will talk to you. So, okay, Glory says, I want to be remembered as the person that makes other people smile. Really, really amazing goal. Really amazing goal. Because in this world, you see, everybody's always hurrying. We're going to so many places all at once. And sometimes we don't note that the things that we're doing is having an effect on another person. So wanting to be a person that makes other people smile is a really, really amazing thing to want to be remembered for. Let's keep it coming. If there's any other thing before we move on to our next activity, it's something really amazing that we have coming next. But let's just quickly get this going. What do we want to be remembered for? Deanna says, I want to be remembered as a woman of God. I want to be remembered as a woman. Sorry, I'm sorry in case I'm reading this wrong. Okay, I want to be remembered as a woman of her God-ordained seasons. Oh my God, sorry about that. Promise says, I want to be remembered as the person who reminds other people of their greatness. Very, very essential, because many times some of the things that we do only makes other people feel small and worthless. But being a person who reminds other people of their greatness is very, very key in this world. All right. So right about now, we're going into our panel session. If you're excited, please put your excitement in the chat box. If you've been through any of the emerging women summits or the conference, whatever it is you've had with us, you know, it's always very, very exciting to listen to the women that we have speak to us. So if you're, let's see excitement in the chat box, whether it's an emoji, whatever it is, put it in the chat box. We're going on to our panel session right about now. So I want to invite Mrs. C back, because she's going to be in charge of that session.
Thank you.
Hi, Mrs. C, over to you.
Hi, Nosa. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. And I'm seeing all of the amazing stuff in the chat, and I'm like, yeah. Amazing. Thank you, guys. You guys have been amazing, an amazing audience. Well done. And I'm seeing that we actually have a good portion of audience on YouTube too. YouTube people, I'm saying hi. I'm sure that there's someone on the team who is right there, you know, responding to your chat and all of that also happening on that side. So trust me, you are just on our heart as the people who are here on Zoom. Okay. Now we're going to be going to the panel session. Basically, the panel session is where we then go a little bit more into this conversation. You know, sometimes when we talk like this, sometimes I don't know if you're like me, who feels like, okay, all of this you're saying, how does it really work in your real life? Like in your real everyday life, how does it really work? You know, how do you put this thing into practice? How do you put this into practice on the day that you are not feeling like yourself? How do you put this into the practice on the days where something is happening, and you know, all those kind of things? And that is the conversation we want to have. So the way the panel session is going to be, I am going to be a moderator, an excited moderator for you guys. I have questions already for our two speakers. That is Tolu Eriaye. Okay, she said she actually prefers Tolu Itua Eriaye, who just spoke with us, and also Temitope Williams, who is going to be our second panel session. Both of them are my amazing friends. We've been friends for, actually, most of them, we've been friends for more than a decade, maybe up to like 10, 15 years now. And these are women who have had privilege to watch their life over the years. So, you know, many of those things that Olu is saying, she's not kidding. That's how she have lived. And, you know, I have the weight of observation over more than a decade to confirm to you that the thing she's saying is actually how she lives. And also Temitope, I think first of all, I should play the video that introduces Temitope. I think that would be the first thing to do. So at least I already played the video that introduces Tolu. So let me just do this one. Just a short intro video so we know who Temitope is. Okay. Can I go? I think I can go. All right.
Temitope Williams is a business operations and customer success professional with over 5 years industry knowledge and process control experience. She currently leads the operations and customer success team at mycover.ai. Temitope is an adept problem solver and solution-oriented business leader. She believes that in the line of work, things will not always go as planned, but how you resolve the issues that arise is what distinguishes you as a person and as a business.
Can we welcome Temitope in the chat?
Temitope Williams is a business.
Can we welcome Temitope in the chat? I'm going to be having new last name. Dina caught that. Yeah, actually, like it's giving me joy. That's why I'm saying it again. Temitope Williams. Like it's giving me so much excitement. Actually, Temitope was here last summit too. But as at that time, she was Temitope Ojomuide. So in case you're like, I know this face, but I don't know the Williams. That's the backstory of the Williams part. Honestly, I have a video to introduce myself, but I'm already introduced. So we can skip that part. Let me actually, so I'm going to add Tope to my spotlight and Tolu Lope. I cannot see your video on yet, but I'm going to be adding you to my spotlight. Okay. Oh, I replaced, sorry. I was supposed to add us, and then I replaced everybody. I'm so sorry. Hi, women. My amazing women. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Let me
Happy
talk
Yeah. Doing. Let's not bring our outside behavior to this place, please. This is the women's conference. Let's be focused. Hi, Sid. Olulokwe, how are you doing? So good to see you. We keep
I'm
missing
good.
events. It's missed something. Missed something.
It's
But
good
really,
to see
you preached the
somewhere.
storm, and I mean, my contemplations, you really made my contemplations easier because you did a good background to a lot of things that were already in my mind. And I think like that's just solid for what we may go on to discuss later today. But yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Toy, good to see you, my sister. And hello everyone. I'm happy and I'm
Yeah.
excited that people who are interested to listen beyond the noise, because honestly, there's a lot of noise everywhere, and you must pay attention to hear what God is saying. And you can't be in every conference. You just need to know which conference you need to be. And I'm happy, that you are here today. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so you guys, because without further ado, I have like loads of questions for you, loads. But I'm just going to also allow the conversation evolve. And please feel free. And now I'm talking to everyone in the chat box and all of that. Please feel free to drop questions. I can't promise that we're going to be able to take all of your questions, but if possible.
No, this is not happening. Focus, people of God, focus. We're in a women's conference. Focus.
Anyway, if possible, we'll try to put all of the questions together. If there are questions that you think, there are chances that there are questions that you have in your heart that you are able to, maybe some of the things I would have asked would have addressed. Anyway, there's something going on in the chat that you need to have context for to understand why it is funny. But like I said, I'm going to focus and I'm not going to be distracted again. Anyway, so Tolu, I'm going to just begin to pick. I think just like Tope has said, you've done such an amazing job introducing us into this conversation. And one of the things I love about what you've done, let me remove these glasses. One of the things I've loved about what you've done is that you've begun an attempt to create a wonderful balance. Because usually the concern is always this, is people, how do I say it now? When you have conversations about how your life. I loved some of the words that you were using. You were saying my everyday life is who I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be a doctor or a president or something. Every day is who I'm supposed to be. That already sort of situates this conversation in understanding that, yes, I'm going to do amazing things in the world. I'll be in the globe. I will do great things. But I understand that my sense of greatness is not hidden in those things. Actually, it's me that is bringing greatness to them. It's not them that is adding greatness. You understand?
Yes.
But at the same time, you've also balanced it with a sense that because I know this, I am actually going to strive to be my best. I'm going to then, you were talking about excellence. I'm going to have integrity. I'm going to, so I have this sense of I am complete. Part of the values that my sense of completement also brings is a sense that because I'm complete, I am free to be excellent. Because I'm complete, you understand? I am free to work with integrity. And the way I like to say it usually to my emerging women circle, that's the mentorship circle, is that my life is bigger than what I do. Who I am is bigger than what I do. And I want to start from there, because sometimes some of these things can sound very philosophical. That's the truth. They can sound like, we're just saying nice things. I want to ask you guys to just start out our conversation, and I'm going to start with you, Tokwe. How do you think of yourself? How do you think of who you are beyond what you do? How do you manage that? Because that's the tussle that a lot of young women have today. It says that, yes, I want to have a sense of who I am, but I also want to do great things. And there's a way the great things sort of impose eventually upon who I am, that I find myself eventually defining myself by these things. So how do I keep this almost invisible, delicate balance? How has that been for you in being able to see yourself as a person, do great things, who is doing great things, but who is not defined by them? Does that question make sense?
Yes, because what I've just said is not just even an internal tussle. It's how the world wants you to think about it. The world wants you to think about it by labels, by who you eventually emerge to be, by you being a woman of impact, you being a woman of purpose. And all of that outside embodiment distracts you from you paying attention to becoming. Because what really powers your outside life, who the world sees, is who you are on the inside. That's what really powers it. Because the truth is, the reason why you wonder why a lot of popular people, a lot of big people, why they end up as drug addicts, why they end up committing suicide. Why you just wonder what could be wrong. And what I want to say is, because flying high is not the issue, people of God. Flying, I mean, you can plot out A, B, C, D, and you'll be flying high in a few years. Like, it's not, you can read a book and the book will tell you this is how to, and if you follow that book, you will fly high. Flying high is not the problem, people of God. What the real issue is when you eventually fly high, how anchored will you be? Because that's what defines everything. That's what keeps you. That's what I still have to use the word anchor. You need to think about a big ship that has come to shore. What keeps that ship from straying back into water is the anchor. So the question here is not whether you're going to fly high or not. It's not even a question, because as a woman who is in the lineage of Christ, is your destiny in God to fly high. The question is, how anchored are you? Because that is what powers where you are on the outside. The question is not whether you're going to sit on a table and become a board member. The question is not, I'm not even bothered about the ceilings. Because the truth is, your destiny as a child of God is that God is at your head, breaking ways for you. The question right now is, where is your anchor? Because if you don't have an anchor, you're going to allow everything that you have become on the outside world define you. And it's a really quiet place you must find. As a woman, you must find a quiet place that is between you and God, where you draw wherever you are, wherever you are, where you draw it from. Because this question here today is not the question of greatness. It's not about accelerating action. That's not the question here. If you are a child of God, it's your destiny to be great. Like, settle it. Once you walk with the Lord, you walk with all of your heart. It is your destiny to be great. Like, there's no question about it. But my question to you today is, what is your anchor? Where is your anchor? Where do you draw your sense of meaning from? Because truth is, You are going to be living in this world, and they're going to put a lot of labels on you, Forbes, whatever, best in this one, best in that one. And you need to remind yourself quickly that if the world gave you this label, they can take it as quickly as you give it. And in your process of becoming Mrs. or becoming Mr. or becoming whoever, what really matters is who has, like my sister was saying, who has God called you to be? And one of the things I began to contemplate upon in this, as I prepared for this session, is as a Christian sister, or as a woman of God, or as a woman, or as a lady, you must be a very, very aware person. It's a competency that you must have. You must be so aware that you know what is happening. You don't leave anything to chance. Because sometimes the power of the enemy is the power of subtlety, where you are not finally where you dream to be. Because the truth is, a lot of people are thinking about it's about great. I want to be great. That's not the question here. You are going to be great. But the question here is when you eventually become great, because the truth is, the things people forget, people are so in that desire to be great that they're not aware of who they are becoming or who they really are on the inside. Sister, you are going to be great. Settle it, like accept it. Now, when you become great, because a lot of times you are enveloped by the desire to be great, that you're not paying attention to who you are on the inside. You are so like, I want to be like Ibukwan Woshika. That's not even a question. You are going to be great. But the question is, when all of that happens, who are you? Where are you? How anchored are you? Like, where do you stand? When all of that, if something happens to a, God forbid, to a very popular woman and a scandal happens, God helping you, you are not guilty, but a scandal does happen and, it puts you in trouble. I mean, people swallow your name. The real flavor and fragrance of who you are is what is going to flow out. Because a lot of people make it look like women are struggling to be great. I am not in that WhatsApp group. I'm not struggling to be great. I don't know if you get me. Like I'm sure, like it's certain as day that I'm going to be a great woman. I'm not trying. The question is, there is that quiet place between you and God that you must find, because that is where you will always return to. That is where you will always return to. Because the thing is, the question is not just about, oh, I'm trying, God, please help me to be great, help me to fulfill my purpose. That is not the question. The question is, there is a quiet place that you must find between you and God, where when things break, or whether they are breaking for good or breaking for bad, you have somewhere to run to and you can say, God, this is happening. What must I? Some of us don't have that quiet place. And like the popular, some of us are waiting for marriage or something to just now tabernacle. That place you must carry it through the years. You must carry it through everywhere you're going. A quiet person, you can say, God, look, I know they just increased my salary to £1 million, but that's not who I am. What are you saying to me now? What is the purpose of that money? Like, you need to find a place where nothing in this world can define you other than what God has called you to be. But the truth is that quiet place, where I call a room, is we have not found it. And until you find it, you will keep chasing and trying to be great. You keep chasing, before I started my career, I was just, when you watch a movie and there's that powerful black woman who wears a suit in a room full of men, you're speaking like, I want to be that woman. I want to be in the clinic. So when I eventually started my career and I started sitting at the board, I mean, not like board, like started sitting at the table of decision makers, I'm like, okay, so I'm here now. So what next? Because the truth is, as the moment you begin to pursue greatness, which is good in itself, pursuing greatness is good. I mean, it's excellent. But I'm saying, when you eventually become great, what next? Because, and I'm coming back to my point, is you have to have a place that is between you and God. Like they should like to say that they put a stone and they built an altar and called it Jehovah Jireh. You have to have that place. It's not a physical place. It's in your heart where you can say, God, this situation is confronting me. What must I do? Or I have just been named this. What does this mean? And what does this mean for you? You must have a place of anchor that returns you back to God. Because everybody makes it look like we are fighting for women. Yes, are the biases there? Yes, they are there. Are the ceilings? Yes, they are there. But me, I know that as a woman in the lineage of Christ, whether there be ceilings or whether there be biases, I am going to overcome them. It is my destiny in God. But my question for you today, as a woman of God, is where is your anchor and what is your anchor? Because that's what powers everything. Now, let me tell you something. When you enter that room, that accomplished place of greatness, what distinguishes you and what draws the line between you and other people is your place of consecration. Because whether you like it or not, everybody is worshiping something. That's the truth. Everybody is worshiping something. Everybody is being powered by something. And that separate place that you have between you and God is what powers you. Now, who you are, like my sister Tolu said, is who is the accurate expression of who you are is who God has said you are going to be. And the truth is, it's not going to open like a scroll before you. It's going to unfold in your everyday walk with God. So as that woman, that wonder of a woman, you cannot neglect your personal walk with God, because it defines, it shapes, it opens up everything you are going to be. Do you know that days where the more intimate you are with God, the more things don't come as breaking news to you? Because the world may see something, and God already told you that, look, in the next 2 months, you're going to be announced as this, as this, as that. And so when they announce it, you're not all jumpy, you're not even shedding a tear, say, oh my God, thank you so much. Because you are so close to your Father that He's telling you that this is coming in the next few months, and this is what it means. It's not about a position. So let me dial back who you are and who you become, and everything, and how the world tries to impose a label upon you, how they want you to feel like you have arrived because of something. It doesn't mean anything. The question, like my sister said earlier, is what is God saying to you? And what is He saying now? That's what defines everything. That's what, because the truth is, as a woman, like I think I was saying in the last edition, that there is an evolution also. And that's why I'm going back to my point that you must be so self-aware that you know where you are part time. Because, for me as a person, I look at my pictures and I say, maybe I look at my pictures 2 years ago and I'm like, I'm no longer this woman. I look at my picture 2 months ago and I'm like, I'm no longer this woman. You must be so self-aware that you are recognizing your journey year by year, month on month, and you are seeing what God is doing for you. I know I've said a lot, and I really do hope that you've caught something. But I'm saying that what really steps you up, what elevates you, and what gives you a base is that personal communion, that place of koinonia where you are on what's it called? You are on an unending connection with God. That's the real question here, because it is your destiny in God to be great. Whether you're a tailor, you're a baker, whatever it is that you want to be, it doesn't matter. The matter here is, what is God saying? Now, let me bring a story quickly, because I know that Tony may want to go to Tolu now so that we can bring it all in. Jael, nobody knew her until it was time to execute. Nobody knew anything about her. She didn't even go to war. She was just in her house, and war came to meet her in her house. But nobody told her to say, hey, this is what you're going to see today. She just knew. There's a place of alignment that begins to bet execution in you, because you are just aware, you are in tune. So that when things come, it doesn't, you just feel like, so what am I supposed to do now? Because the truth is, when greatness now happens upon you, the question is, what are you going to do next? Nobody told Jair that somebody's coming into your room today and this is what you should do. In fact, she was so skilled that she welcomed the person with food. Say, Ekpelesa welcomes her, drink milk, because she just knew. And it doesn't matter. And this is taking me to what I was also contemplating, where the Bible was saying that in a great house, there are many vessels. There are vessels unto honor. Before you start jumping, I want to be a vessel unto honor. I want to be a vessel unto honor. I want to be a vessel unto honor. Where you are right now, how connected are you to God? And that's the real question for me, honestly. That's the real question. I came to this meeting saying that we're not struggling to say women are going to be great. As long as you're in this lineage of Christ, let them be biases times 100. You overcome one of them. David said, by my God, I run through troops, and by my God, I leap over a wall. Those obstacles, they are your powering plants. But the question here is, where is that place that you have between you and God? Thank you so much, Tony. I know we still have a lot of questions to do.
You've said so many things that I don't even know where to start. I think one thing I'm going to pick out of one thing I would like to reemphasize of all of the things you said is this understanding. And I'm going to rephrase it in my own language, and the way I understand it is this idea that, you keep talking about how greatness is a given. And I think it's really fascinating, because for you to think greatness is a given, it has to be that you think that greatness is not just something about, it's not just a thing. Not, because the truth is, the reality that if it is a thing, not all of us will have the thing in the same way. If we can say for all of us, greatness is a given, it has to mean that greatness has to be more than certain kind of things. It has to be more than greatness cannot just be in a title or in a position or in a rank or in an award or in a kind of bank account. It has to be something that is more than that. And for me, that's probably where that is starting from, the realization. And I think I was saying that also when I was doing the welcome address, the idea that greatness is the way I keep thinking about it now in my contemplations particularly over the last 2-3 years, is a realization that greatness is actually a being that do you understand? It's more of an internal thing first before it's an external expression. Do I know that there's an external expression of greatness? Yes, absolutely. But I've come to terms with the fact that it's a thing first. It's a being, it's a way of thinking about life. And there's something that you started saying that put something in my heart that I'm going to be asking Tolu next. And that's the idea that, and I can ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question, Tolu, because I know at least a good understanding of your story of how your story has evolved over the years. There is a way that we talk about the matter of hope and God and keep faith alive that is always intended towards times in our lives that it feels as if things are not going well. Please just listen to me. So, there's a way that you encourage yourself with hope. You have hope for the future. Your life will be great and all of that. And when I'm saying great, now I mean the external expressions of greatness. Like your life will be great. That we used to encourage ourselves when, we feel like, you are not, you are still in a place where things is not going well. Don't worry, your life will be great and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But there's something that Stopper keeps saying, and as she was saying it, I was remembering a particular time in my life where she keeps saying, when you enter into that external dimension of greatness, the question is, what next? We don't realize that we need hope even for the time of greatness. There's a way that sometimes we forget. We think that greatness itself will confer a level of stability, a level of hope, and all of these kind of things upon us. You think because they announce you as CEO of your company and say you still not wake up tomorrow sad. There's a way that we just assume that these things come
everything out.
Ability that we need. But I found out that it's not true. It's absolutely not true. Success comes with a lot more weight than we acknowledge. And it pains me because I don't think the word talks about that. We only talk about hope and all of that in a way that is about, you are in a place where things are not going well. You don't have money. Don't worry. Have hope for the future. Dream about great things. The issue is that when your dream happens, what happens in your life? In my own experience, I found out that you actually need as much anchor in the time of plenty as you needed in the times of small. And that's what I'm going to ask you, Tolu. In your story, you've gone through times where the world can accept that you are doing wonderfully. And you have also gone through times where it doesn't look, the world might not agree because they look at you and they'll probably say like, you are still struggling. How have you, particularly in the time when you entered into some of your answered prayers, how have you been able to sustain a sense of hope that is not anchored upon the things that you prayed for?
Oh, fantastic, Tony. Very, very fantastic question. So, at the end of the day, I like where we're going with this. We need to realize that first, I'll start with the fact that where you think you're going to, where they're asking you to have hope for, that you're painting in your head, or the kind of greatness I want to have that is reflective, that people are seeing, is never a final bus stop. That's where you have to start from. It's not my final bus stop. I will not allow because what makes us begin to feel like at that point I've entered into it a lot of times is because of the definition that people are given. If you have defined your own greatness as, like you have said, as not a thing, but as a holistic way that I live my life, you will realize that even in those times when it now looks like it's all bright and great, you are still living your life on a daily basis, even in those spaces. And so what helps me to go on is that I realize that this is not the place. This is not full stop. Irrespective of how great it is, according to what people define as great, it's not my full stop. My life is not in events. We need to wake up to these things. My life is not in events. My life is in my everyday. So even when I enter into, for instance, let me give a good example. So I'm working so hard, I'm doing everything because I know that one day I'm going to be at the M of affairs in a big industry, something like that, right? I'm going to be at the M of affairs. When I get to the M of affairs, I still need to be a person of excellence. I still need to be a person of impact. I still need to respect people because this is who I. So it goes back to who are you? Until you define who you are, people will tell you how to act at every point in time. And like Sophie was saying, who you are comes from the core of your values again. Faith. What's your definition of who you are from faith? For instance, or from whatever you get your own definition from. Because I know we have all sorts of people here. But for me, it comes from faith. So even if tomorrow I'm the CEO, I know that there's nowhere in the Bible when it says to me, you'll be a CEO. There's nothing like that. All right. So you must look at your life holistically, like an everyday occurrence, not as events. We are all waiting for events before we call greatness. So that's one thing. So when you now quote and unquote get to these places that look, like opulence, like, oh, this is the picture. What keeps you grounded is the bigger picture that you have. That this is not a full stop. It keeps you running. So I mean, I'll use myself as an example. Like I said earlier, so I was working and I was doing well and I was rising and I was a manager and I'm getting mails and saying, oh, so if you keep up like this in 5 minutes, you become the director and we're positioning you for this. There's a way that those kind of conversations make you feel as if, oh, this is it, right? So you now start targeting the 5 years to become a director. But because I have come to an understanding that who God has called me and my place is the globe. Where God is taking me to is not an event. It must play out. It's a life that if I'm going to sit with a young woman in a room, I make the same impact that I'm going to make in a boardroom. When I understand my life as that picture, that whether I'm speaking to a security man, for instance, or I'm in a boardroom, the way God sees my impact is the same thing. The way God sees my impact, God is not measuring it and saying, that's his boardroom. So your impact is you have is 90% if you get there. But if you are talking to a gate man, it's okay. No, God doesn't do that. So if I look at my life holistically as a transcendence every day into a full picture of who God says I am, I'm not perturbed by whatever you call me or whatever you don't call me. Because like Topper was saying, titles will be taken out of your life every now and again, very easily. There was someone that was the president 5 years or 7 years ago. He's not the president anymore. So do you see? So you have to understand that your life is a holistic life called into impact on a daily basis. One, you have to also understand that your life is not in events, it's not in occurrences, it's not in big happenings. My life is in every day. That's the second thing. And then lastly, I need to understand the big picture of who God says that I am, what my core values are, what my faith calls me. So I show up every day in that light. And it keeps me well aware. That's what helps you to even be aware because you have that picture in your head. You know that it's not an end. It's a means, everything is a means to an end. For me, for instance, there's faith that tells me that wherever I get to is because there are people that God wants me to meet and have an influence in their life. So when I get that position, I begin to open my eyes and say, so who should get saved here? Who should hear the gospel here by my life, by my voice, who? This is how I'm. So if tomorrow I'm no longer the CEO, there's still somebody that needs to get saved anyway. So if tomorrow I get back and I'm just another human being, I'm still opening my eyes and saying, who needs to be saved in this vicinity? Who needs to see the light of Jesus through my life? Who needs to be amazed at who I am more than what I do? So I think when we have this picture of your life, then it helps you.
Thank you, Tolu. And what you just said, I can relate with it a lot. And I was smiling because it particularly reminded me of how every time I got a fellowship, because there was a time I was very I applied to a lot of those kind of things, Mandela, Washington, all of that. My first question is usually, Lord, what are we going there to do? That's what I always ask first. Like, who are the people I need to meet here? What is this about? I know that it's exciting and all of that. It should make me feel great, but I know that no, God, my greatness is not in what they are calling me. Fellow is great. It's nice, but that's not my great. That's not where my greatness is hidden. And I'm always asking. And funny enough, I found out that every of those kind of things that I've participated in, there's been at least one person that I walked away with. And it happened again and again. People who eventually became friends, people who God gave me an influence, a sense of discipleship over, again and again, every single place that I've gone, every single place. In fact, as I'm speaking, I know one person is here who we actually attended fellowship, and that's how we became friends. And we've pumped in together in the last, I don't know, 10, 11, I don't know if it's up to 10 years, but maybe about 7 years now. So in my heart is not always about, it's not, how does this fellowship make? No. It's, God, you brought me here for a reason. Who am I walking away with from here? Because I know that I have, like you said, part of the understanding I've had about mission and mandate is a strong sense of discipleship and mentorship. I'm always asking, Lord, who am I away with here with mentorship and discipleship? And it's happened every single time. Every single time. So I can relate with that. Now, let me take us back to something that's, and I love the way you've been saying it, Tolu. If I put together what both of you have been saying, there's a strong sense of the everyday in what you're saying. And Tolu, you keep even using that word again and again. And my emerging women circle people are here. They know that I say this thing a lot, that we need to return a sense of purpose and greatness to the everyday. There's a way that we've driven the conversation of purpose and greatness to about events, to about specific things, reach 10,000 people, and all those kind of things. I'm not saying they are not part of it, but I'm saying they are not the whole story. That has to be a way you think of your purpose, that have a space for the everyday.
Yes.
If I'm asking what your purpose is, your purpose cannot just be to reach 10,000 girls for Christ. The question is, on your bed, in your everyday, as you are cooking for your husband or you're cooking for yourself, as you are cleaning your house, as you are washing your clothes, how does purpose come to play in that place? There's and for me, this is a big deal, because I keep feeling as if we underestimate the everyday and overestimate the spotlighting moment of our life. That's my biggest. I don't have problem with spotlight. I stand in spotlight many times in my life. I've had several things that happened to me that are spotlighting. I'm not against it. I'm saying there has to be a space for the everyday in your purpose, in your understanding of purpose. There has to be a sense of how the everyday comes to play. The mundane, the ordinary. What place do you place? What place do they have in your understanding of purpose? And I think you guys have spoken a lot about this. I want us to maybe move a little bit into a conversation, particularly because today is International Women's Day. I want us to have a little bit of, because we've been talking a lot about how the woman needs to see herself beyond all of the titles, the labels, and all of that. It's a stronger sense of significance that is not tied to your position, you're tied to your awards, or all of that. But there's also another issue. They are connected eventually. It's the issue of femininity itself. And I'm using the word femininity and not feminism, because over the years I found out that they are not the same. I'm interested in how you guys have been able to, and by femininity, I mean that uniqueness of being a female, because being a female comes with a uniqueness. That's the truth. It shows in how you interact with everything. A woman interacts with everything in a way that is different from a man. Quite all right. Even workplace, even in boardroom, whatever you want to, everywhere you want to go, there's that sense, there's that flavor of femininity. And what I've found over the years is either of two extremes. Either there's a way that we are trying to underestimate that flavor to make it look as if we need to act like men, this testosterone, crazy drive, and all of that. to be able to be taken seriously in the world or be able to do great things, all of that, which is the reason why I say connect. Or so there's that part of trying to forcefully establish that femininity and show that is important. Or there's a part we are trying to underestimate it and try to make it look as if being female is not something unique. It is unique. So my question for you guys is, what does this app? And I'm going to go with you for Tokwe. And I know that our time is already pulling some of our time. Is Tokwe, how has femininity show up for you? As someone who has worked in a world that you have had to deal with, other women, men, people who don't, people who might not understand some of these things. How have you tapped into his intended power, what God had in mind about it, without getting stuck in the labels that people want to put into it? Does that make sense?
Yes, that's also an interesting question. And what I want to say is that in this journey of discovering yourself, you can't walk it alone. You can't walk it alone, because if you do, you must walk it with God. And the truth is, sometimes it's okay to ask questions and say, maybe as Tolu has been speaking, as you can be like, I don't know who I am. It's okay, but the truth is, it's okay if you're still like, all these things that they're saying, me, I can't relate. I don't know who I am. I've not found my purpose. I don't feel this way. It's okay. But what I must tell you is that you cannot make that discovery alone. You cannot make that discovery without intentionality. And you cannot make that discovery without doing it with God. Because the truth is that things happen to us every day that want to define us. So sometimes people lose their loved ones. Sometimes maybe growing up, you as a woman, you may have grown up without your mom. It wants to form you into a kind of person who is feeling like, well, I'm just on my own. I made it all by myself. I don't need anybody's help. I made it all through here by myself. The situations of life wants to put a label on you. And if you don't make that discovery of finding who you are with God, gradually, subconsciously, without you knowing, you realize that the situation of life begin to put a label on you. Maybe somewhere you worked in a place and because things were really tight there, they were really unkind, they were really unfair. So you're like, next workplace I'm going is everyone for himself. I'm going to fight for myself. I'll look after myself. The truth is that everyday situations that happen to us, they want to form and shape us. And if you don't already find a corner and a place in God, it begins to shape everything. And one of the analogies that I find very interesting is that different things happen to different people, but the outcomes are different. When you throw a tea bag inside hot water, what is inside the tea bag is what comes out. But when you throw a carrot inside water, carrot becomes soft. Like, responses usually vary based on what you have inside. Let's imagine that life situations are what you are thrown in. What will eventually come out of you, or what you eventually become, is the result of what you already have inside you. So the truth is, on this journey of discovery, you must know that you have to walk it with God, because, like Tolu said earlier, that's where you can get an accurate understanding of who you really are. If you grew up in a family where they are mostly boys, you attend, you're like, I'm a tomboy, I'm this one. Sorry, ma. And you must really discover that who you are is not what society says. It's not what happened to you. Who you are is not what is happening to you. Who you are is not what has happened to you. Who you are is who God says you are. And I know I'm at the risk of sounding so church-like, or every day what we hear, I am who God says I am. I am who I am says I am. That's not why I'm here today. I'm just trying to tell you that somehow, if you're not careful, you are already allowing the society to define you. And what this femininity that Tony is talking about is, it has different angles and expressions. That's the truth. It does have different angles and expressions, and the fragrance and flavor that you of your own femininity, or the angle that was here, like the angle that falls to you, you will only be able to grasp it when you find who you are. So there's a side of femininity that is very, very discerning. I'm telling you, women have a very strong sense of discernment. It's a gift. It's a gift. There's a place of discernment. There's a place of compassion, that accompanies femininity. There's a place of nurturing that accompanies femininity. And women everywhere have this let me say, traits in different dimensions. You meet some people somewhere, and you may even be, you know why in school some people are usually called school mother. It's because some people, they're like, this one is my school mother. You join a school, like you're in GSS1, and you naturally say, this person is my school mother, because somehow they just have that natural inclination to cover, to ask. That's when they ask you, how your class is going. Are you reading? Do you have past questions? It's like the person they gave birth to you again when you go to school. Do you understand? This femininity that Tony is talking about, everybody has different flavors of it, but you will not discover your flavor if you don't know who you are first. And it's easy for this flavor to be exploited, because sometimes strengths can become weaknesses. Sometimes when you have this nurturing ability, you begin to become an enabler of men with bad behavior. I don't want to go there today, because that's not where we're going. You feel like, I'm a mother, but the man is not having work to do, and you're like, he's not doing anything, he's not working anything. You're like, I'm just supporting him. Man that you're supposed to pursue in the outside. Okay, sorry, that's not my focus. But like, if you don't discover the flavor and the God essence of that femininity, it can be exploited. You may feel like very caring, like I'm very nurturing. And because you have not found a placement for it in God, you've not gotten God's sense about this femininity and the flavor that falls to you, it can become exploited. Because the truth is that as you go on about in the world, if you don't know your flavor, some people can see it and they can exploit it. That's why you would see that you're probably, and that's why I came back to the place that you must be anchored in God and you must be self-aware. Let me paint a scenario. You are a young lady, you are fast rising, you are working well, like the way Tolu was saying, you're already moving up the ladder, you are anywhere, you are doing fine, you are doing great. You must be aware that, where am I currently? I am in a season where things are going fast, things are growing fast. This is what is next, this is what is happening. Now, if you walk into a season where bam, 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 you enter into financial abundance, right? You enter into financial abundance and you're like, okay, God, like Tony was saying, you're like, okay, God, this new season of, some people don't even know they enter financial abundance. They don't know. They just know that they're buying new hair, new kinikon. They don't know. So they are misusing the purpose. They don't understand that when you enter financial abundance, like, what is God saying to me now? What am I doing with it? They don't understand. A lot of people are not self-aware. And it's not self-aware as per mental health kind of things. It's about, am I right now? Some people are already in the midst of the answered prayers, but they don't know. Because like Tolu was saying, they're busy looking at other people who are better than them. Some people are already in the midst of their answered prayers. They've prayed, God, I need a job. God has brought the job. You're like, this is my own job. They don't have staff boss for us. They don't give us food at the office. You're already in the midst of your answered prayers. Some of you don't even know. And you are here, you are sick, you are grumbling and complaining like the Israelites. That God has not done enough for you, but you are in the midst of your answered prayers. This same you, 2 years ago, you were begging and praying for a job, but now you are complaining because what? You must be a self-aware Christian, a self-aware woman. Now, as I was saying before, if you are not aware of the flavor of femininity that falls to you, the world will exploit it. So maybe the flavor that falls to you is discernment. And if you're not careful, you're not paying attention, your discernment via gossiping can become suspicion. Like, the channels can just really flow. So that's what I'm saying, that it comes where you're coming from. Where are you in God? In a way that when you're now misbehaving, God can call you back and say, Tope, come back. This thing you're doing is not making sense. That guy at your office that you're just with every Friday, he's not part of it. It's not among of it. Come out of it. Do you understand? That guy, you'll be like, we are so cool. We have lunch together. And God is saying you are walking in the path of destruction. Because that person is really literally exploiting that side of your femininity. And it's going to put you in trouble. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So this issue of femininity, it has different flavors. But the truth is that some of us have a strong sense of it. Like, you have a stronger, so it can be that it's nurturing that is strong for you. It can be discernment that is strong for you. It can be, but all of us have it inside us. And all of us have these flavors in different dimensions. But the truth is, if you don't understand the part that falls to you, and you don't already have a grounding in God, you can misuse it. You can misuse it. There's also a part for, that a lot of people don't realize. They think it's men that have it. Women are one of the most daring creatures on earth. For some people think that it's men. Women are so daring, because the truth is that, we know when I read that in the process of childbirth, it's like a lot of bones breaking your body at once. I don't remember the narration, but you see the power and the tenacity that a woman carries. is unprecedented. It's unprecedented. I'm telling you, the woman, and when I saw the topic, a woman is a powerhouse. Do you know what a woman's brain is thinking at all at the same time? And it's not just about the fact that it's not about patriarchy or what they're using women to do. It's about the fact that the moment you rise into your full office as a woman, you have the power and ability to multitask on so many levels that if you sit down to look at it, even you'll be amazed. So where I'm going today is when you find who you are in God, you can then understand your femininity and how to wield it. Because what a lot of people don't know how to do is that wielding. Also, second thing, apart from the women being daring, women are such people of influence. Such people of influence. You see, and it's not just about who run the world girls. That's what I'm talking about. Have you seen that they will talk about, look at politics? You know, a man will say, I'm the one in power, this one, that one, this is what we do today. And by the time the person gets home, the woman just says, honey, I don't think we should put that money in that thing again. I think we should go this way. And the following morning, the man has changed his mind. She did not carry gun. She did not do anything. She just spoke. And the truth is that if you also don't understand the part of being daring, how audacious a woman can be, you can be misunderstood to be that you are too much, you are doing too much. You understand? But the moment you understand your placement in God, you know yourself that where God puts you and what you are doing is not about doing too much. It's about who God has called you to be. And that's why sometimes when you hear people like Tolu speaking, you be like, what is it now? It's even too much. It's not something like pride. No, an understanding of who you are gives you confidence. And to some people, it may seem like pride, but because you know that when I'm speaking now, I'm not speaking out of pride. I'm speaking at a place that I know that God has placed me in. That's one. Two, when I talk about influence, and maybe I'm going to just cut it to those two. Influence is that when you understand that you as a woman, you're a person of influence, and you fully know how to see the issue here, Tony, is that people are miswielding, for lack of a better word, their femininity. Because sometimes when I drive to a place and I see red light area, you know what I mean by red light area? I say to myself, I say, may I never believe a lie. That's what I say to myself. I say, may I never believe a lie. Because locked in that street is a lie that the only way for financial advancement is through your body. And I know there are a lot of stories around things are hard. This one, you don't understand my story, but it's a lie that you have believed that the only way to get ahead in this situation is to sell my body. That's the lie that has been sold and believed. And, coming back to the place of influence, when you understand your source, and you know that this, and you know the power that you wield in the place of influence, you know when to use it and when to submit it. Because the truth is that a lot of women today, the flip side of influence is witchcraft, where you think that you're convincing the person, but you're overpowering the person to come to your side. And what I'm trying to say here is that the way to not miswield your femininity is to already first understand who you are and how God will have you apply or deploy the femininity that falls to you. Remember I said, it can be compassion, it can be nurturing. You understand? So the question here is that people are not working with God. And it may sound very basic and simple, but, it may sound very basic and simple, but it's as simple as it is what it is. Toyin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tope. It's amazing because, most of the thing you're talking about, I can fully relate. If I try to summarize what you've said, that I've heard you talk about this thing there are two extremes. There's on one side where the femininity is being defined by external things. So people tell you to express your femininity, you have to do all of this, who run the world, girls, and all of that. This idea that you have to show up a certain way to be taken seriously as a female. You have to be, I don't want to use the word daring. That's not the goal. Like, you have to almost be this almost always angry, thinking the world is against you. It was one thing that I knew I had to stay away from. And it's one of the reasons why I sometimes stay away from, a certain brand of feminism, because I know that there's a way that it puts you into this consciousness that the world is against you. And I refuse to live like that. I know it's a lie, so I refuse to live like that. But on the other side is when you begin to enter into a strong sense of femininity, there's also a sense with which that femininity can be exploited. You're right. It really can be. If your understanding of femininity is not rooted, like you're saying, God and all of that, the things that were supposed to be strength will become weakness in your hand. It's true. It's very, very true. In fact, it's one of the things that has led us as women into certain troubles that could have been avoided. It's because we were standing in our femininity and we did not know where the boundaries that give the femininity the purpose stand. So you begin to cross over from, for example, from nurturing to enabler. You begin to cross over from driven to becoming competitive. You begin to cross over from daring to becoming almost boundaryless. You can do anything to get anything done. You can use anybody to get anything done. You don't mind who you can leave this cat for, cat and dog life to get anything done. You begin to move from the sweet spot of how some of these things were put inside you as a female, and you begin to move them into the places where they become dangerous to you and to the world around you. You begin to have your strength begin to become other people. You begin to use your strength rob of other people's wrongly. It's just, I love the way you said it, putting that femininity back upon the anchor of knowing that first of all, there's a God who made you. There's a God, there's a sense of how he sees you. And when you see yourself that way, you know that, if you are saying, for someone was talking about how their goal is to be able to bring the greatness out of others. If you think that way, if you are driven, you know that your sense of femininity that comes from your drive cannot be such that pulls people down. So, Tolu, I'm going to ask you my last question. And I think you are the perfect person to ask this question because of what I know about your story. In the midst of all of these things, we've spoken about, our conversation have teamed a lot around career a lot. I noticed that, career, business, and we've not spoken a lot about marriage, about how this thing comes up in marriage. And I know that this thing is in many people's heart, because like you were saying, Tolu, and we really have to wrap up now. You were saying something, Tolu, the other time. You said something when you were talking in your keynote speech. You said, I don't submit to everybody, or I submit to my own husband. When it comes to the dimension with husband, being a Christian woman that you had, there's an understanding that, someone is above me in that sense. When I say above, I don't mean in terms of equality, in terms of order. There's someone whose opinion, I put into the place of honor and all of that. And the question that quickly comes from that is, how does all of these things we are talking about play out in that situation? And what I mean by that is, I'm trying to even find how to say this. How does understand, we're talking about understanding your femininity, don't go out of bound, don't, use your strength where, blah, 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 show up as a full woman. But usually you are within the context of marriage, you are doing all of this within somebody else's frame of word too. Do you understand? It's kind of dicey. At that point, you are doing it within somebody else's frame of word, who sometimes may see things the way you are seeing it, sometimes may not. The question is, how does this whole idea of living as a full woman, who has all of this strong sense of greatness that is not tied into things, if not tied into their accomplishment, who have their femininity anchored on the right place, how does it show up when you still have to submit to someone else? How has that shown up for you? That'll be my last question.
Thank you. And because it's the last question, I want to put a little bit of I want to tie a knot around some of the things that we've been saying, because Papa said something very distinct, that there are people here who probably are not even sure who they are yet, don't even have a sense of purpose, and they thought, oh, maybe if I come here, I will hear what it means to even have a sense of purpose, or what it means to know who I am and all of that. And I want to say this to you. I know we've spoken a lot about career, we've spoken a lot about business, so showing up and all of that. See, I want to say to everyone here first that God made you as a whole human being. I said it when I was introducing. You are not an adjunct. You are not an add-on. You are not a supplementary plan. You are not that. You are a whole human being. And irrespective of where your personality and the natural endowments that came with you from God is leading you towards, it's still greatness. I want us to remember that because we're speaking around career and you're showing up, that's not all there is. Your greatness is your natural endowment from God and your ability to express it the exact way God wants. See, let me give a quick instance. If I buy a refrigerator, if I buy a refrigerator and I start storing shoes inside, in my head, I might be using it to the best of my ability. But what makes it a great refrigerator is the fact that it is storing water and making it cold like it should. The work of a refrigerator is different from the work of a microwave. For instance, if I'm expecting a microwave to get cold and I'm angry with it that it's not great because it's not getting cold, I'm doing it wrong. Do you understand the picture I'm painting? So I want us to understand that you have to just find out what are the natural endowments that came with me from God. Who am I? What's my nature? What do I like? What do I gravitate naturally towards? And begin to shape your, like someone said, you can't do it without God because it's just like trying to run. You've never seen a refrigerator before. Let's start from there. You've never seen it before in your life. And you see it for the first time. Do you think you will know how to use it? You will not. A lot of us have iPhones that we're even struggling around. Common iPhone. Meanwhile, you can easily just pick the manual and read it if you didn't buy second hand. Literally. You can just pick. So, and I'm not expecting an iPhone to function like an Android. Do you understand? So don't look at software, don't look at toy and think, okay, the only way I can make sense as a full woman is to begin to show up in some of these things and to be talking at a conference. No. Mary's greatness in the Bible, and I go into scripture now, was just to give back to Jesus, full stop. And in heaven, they marked her as the greatest woman that could have ever lived. Our assignment was just to born Jesus. So your assignment here may be just to have your own kids and raise them, but you have to have a consciousness that the measure of my greatness is based on how I do this particular assignment to the best of the standard that God Himself has set and not society. So I just said that because we have all sorts of people here. We need to begin to put our mind accurate. Right now, when you now speak about marriage, you are married to somebody who probably has his own life. Of course, he does. Has his own life, has his own thoughts, has his own imagination. How do I collide these things and be a great woman that I still want to be? See, I'll speak to this in two dimensions. I want to beg of you. One of the reasons why we have this conference is so that for as many who are young who are not married here, find out who you are and how who you are should be expressed. It goes a long way in determining who you should be with in marriage. It cannot be overemphasized. If we solve that problem, there are a lot of questions we'll not be asking. So for as many people who are still young here, please find how you want to express yourself. Just find out, realize who you are, and find okay, how is my life going to how is it going to play out? When you find that, then you can have a conversation with yourself on who you will then get married to. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. Then you can have a conversation on who you then get married to. Now, when you're already in the marriage, you have to trust that the person that you're in this marriage with has your best interest at heart. That's why it's important to marry the right person. We cannot overflog it. If you do not believe that this person has your best interest at heart, you will not be able to function in that space. Because everything they say, even when they say, don't do it yet, don't move on yet, if you look at it, they're attacking you. This guy doesn't want me to go. He does not want me to move forward. This greatness is the one that they sent for it not to come to pass in my life. So you have to, and that's why, please choose correctly. Choose let your core values guide you. I'm a person of faith. I cannot marry someone who is not faith-based. If you're not Christian, don't bother. If I'm family oriented, the people around me make sense to me. It's important that I live my life in such a way that they are proud of. If my husband is not, the person that wants to marry me is not faith, is not family oriented, does not care, what are we doing together? Because when you sort out those things, then in the home dynamics, it becomes much easier. If I trust that my husband has my best interest at heart, every other thing that I think I want to do part-time or that my life is translating to part-time, we can have a conversation such that even if his life is also in a different dimension, we can now come together and have a plan, a way through. Someone who recognizes that I'm not an adjunct to his life. And that's why when we talk about femininity, I wanted to say something. Guys, if you don't understand that you're a complete human being with brain, with sense, that I'm not I said you're not trying to seek equality with a man, you are already equal. We're not trying to seek equality here. We're not compete. That's why feminism sometimes annoys me. You look as if we're trying to compete with men. No competition. Mango and pineapple don't compete. They have different rules. There's no competition. So once you are aware that this is who you are, this is who God has made, you can have these conversations with the man that you're married with. You guys can always find balance. You can find manipulations here and there. When I say not manipulating each other, but manipulating the situation to fit the general good of the home. Yeah, for instance, when I was in Nigeria and I was doing great and I was moving, one of the reasons I had to come to this particular country, even though I knew I wanted to have a master's, was because my husband was already here. And initially, it felt like it didn't make sense, but it is this conversation, this communication that is preceded by a trust. And I also know my place, that in this marriage, this man is, see, again, let me just say it one more time for the last time because of time. It's as if you want to enter a bus. And I know we all relate to that. You want to enter a bus that is going to Maiduguri, for instance. And you know that Maiduguri is a far journey that is very far, of course. And they now tell you that this driver has only driven for 2 days. In fact, today is his 3rd day of learning to drive. And he's such a drunkard, but we always find a way to manage it. And then once he loses his mind, we are treating insanity. But are you going to enter that bus? That's how some of us do when we want to get married. So you have to know that I can trust this person with my life. And then we can have the conversations. And so that when I have to compromise, I'm compromising not because I am an underdog, but I'm compromising because I know this person has my best interest at heart. And I also trust him enough that this decision we're about to make is not from a selfish point of view. Do you understand? So I think the first thing is just to even marry correctly. Now, if you have not entered a situation where you have, this person is already had a wrong mindset about who a woman is. Maybe he already thinks that a woman is an adjunct. You're just supposed to clean my house and wash my shoes and make sure that everywhere is fine. That's all that a woman is meant to be. Then you must play your own game to win. It now becomes what does my husband prioritize? Because you have to submit to him. So this is where you have to choose right. You have to submit to him. So you now have to start playing a game of, okay, what does he see as respect? What does he see as honor? What's missing in this puzzle? How can I adjust to still show him that I love and respect him without losing myself? So you have to now start doing a mind game and trusting the Lord to help you. Do you understand? Submitting your marriage and your everything that you're doing with this person to God, and just trusting that you can meet them somewhere in the middle. But it starts first with marrying someone who has the same. That's why you don't have core values, you don't know who you are, you don't even have it doesn't matter your age, you don't have a business getting married just yet. This is my advice for you. So I hope I've been able to help
Yes,
best
yes,
of my
absolutely.
ability.
Yes, thank you. As in Tokwe and Tolu, you guys have been really amazing sport. Really, really amazing sport. I think one thing that is standing out to me the most in what you're saying, Tolu, is a realization that it is not just the woman that needs to see the full woman. The man has to see the full woman too. That's one thing that is standing out to me. So as you are seeing yourself as a full woman whose life is bigger than achievement, who has a strong sense of person, of a sense of greatness that is God implanted, that is, who has a sense of stability, of, who they are and all of that. You have to marry a man who also sees that. And the only way you will know if the man sees that is if you see it too. Because you can't tell if he sees it if you are not seeing it. What are you going to use to judge that he sees it? Because it's only when those two happen that some of these things that you are saying can be easy. That's just the truth. The word is easy. Do you understand? That's the only way. Because the truth is that there are times where, in fact, it is because the man sees it that it will push you towards certain decision that does not even make sense to you in the instant. That's the truth. In my own marriage, I've seen that happen many times. That my husband has pushed me towards things that in that instant I'm like, I say I'm not doing it. In fact, this whole Emerging Women project, a lot of people don't know that the way the trajectory of it has actually happened more because of my husband than because of me. Last year's summit, I really did not want to do it because I thought I was extremely busy that time. It was like, no, I can sense that there's an opening for you around this thing, and you have something to share with the world. So whatever I need to do with you, I'm going. Do you understand? The point is, you need to for you. It's just the way the Bible says that and two work together unless they agree. If both of you are also, you have to agree even on the image of what it means to be a woman. Just the way you have to agree on the image of what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
That these two things can work together. But yeah, we already passed our time. Thank you so much, Dokwe. Thank you so much, Tolu. You guys are, it's amazing to, have women who also have this strong sense of understanding to do life with. Because sometimes, the world tries to make you forget. And it's in these conversations like this that we remind ourselves of what is important. Thank you so much. I think I have to turn over to my people now. Somebody are trying to use our names at TTT. That's interesting. I did not notice that. That's true. Tolu, Tokwe, and Toya, and that's, people are smart. Like, people have eyes for things that, like, is deep. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you so much, Tokwe. I'm going to be turning over back to our host, Nosa, who is going to, I think we're going into the exciting part of our, I don't know if it's graduation or the unveiling. I think it's the graduation we're going into, right? Nosa, are you here? Who am I turning this over to? Am I
Yes,
turning
I'm
to
right
Nosa?
here.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, there's no more power in my house, so please just manage my bright face. All right. Is Miss Moni on the call so that I can? We're
Yes,
going
I'm here.
into. All right. Hi, Ma. I'm handing right over to you, so you can just go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Please, can we hear me?
Yeah, you are spotlighted for all of us.
All right, thank you. I'm so sorry I can't turn my video on. Yes, but I hope my voice will cover up for my face. Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and maybe morning for those of us that are not in this time zone. So good morning, good afternoon, good day, everybody. And absolutely, like the session has actually been so deep, really. Many deep stuff have been spoken already. Many deep things have been said already. And I like that it is not the conventional, let's say, aspire to aspire and all those things. I like that it's not just the conventional motivational, speech and all. These are things that really affect the core of our being. Okay, so let me just move on quickly to the next stage, because this is like a 3-in-1 event. We have the summit, we have the graduation ceremony, we also have the unveiling of the 16 emerging women for 2025. And so now we are moving to the graduation ceremony, or the graduation ceremony. Still a ceremony, whether virtual or on site. Okay, so since I think that should be November, since November or October, we've had about a good number of women, young women on the CSC, that's the Emerging Circle Cohort 2 mentorship. And of course, we started out at 64, and now we have about 50 plus. And it's been a long ride. It's been a very long ride of 16 weeks, having, calls, doing assignments. We also had a mid cohort project, which was very fantastic. Different people had a lot of very, very nice projects, like very deep projects. And it's so beautiful to see. It was so beautiful to see. And we've finally come to the end of the cohorts of the mentorship for the cohort 2. And it was a very beautiful time, with the over 50 of us, young women, amazing people. And on behalf of on behalf of the TSC team, the lead mentor, the lead coach, that's Mrs. C. We also have background woman. She's like a coach. She's one of our, I would even call her the main director, actually. We have Miss Kenny. We have the community manager. We have a lot of us on behalf of every one of us and myself also. We're saying congratulations to you ladies. Congratulations. It was a nice time, walking with you. It was a nice time, doing a lot of stuff with you. It was a nice time hearing you speak, hearing you talk, hearing the things that you have learned, and also seeing you engage and participate in the different sessions, the different coaching calls and likes like that. So someone said sadly the end. Well, it's not sadly the end, actually. It's not so sad because yes, we will still have many things to do together. And so let me just turn back to Mrs. C. I think we have a video that I want to play. And after the video, we can now say the final farewell wish. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, I really think that I was going to say that I really, really think that we need to do this like with a lot more excitement than this, because trust me, the women who have gone through this program, trust me, they've put in a lot into this. We had this for about 16 weeks. It was, we had coaching. I say coaching course because I'm also a coach. So some of these things, names, they jam in my head. We had mentoring course. We had assignments. Like, you guys, wait, where are my emerging circle women? You guys need to celebrate yourself. You know what this was yourself. So I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing my people congratulate themselves. I think you really should celebrate yourself. We're extremely proud of you. I am extremely proud of you. I know that it was a lot. Many of you were doing this alongside many other things that was going on in your lives. We had several kind of women in the mentoring circle. We had mothers, people who had children. We had people, married women, students, people who are graduate students, so many things. But, you guys showed up, and I am extremely proud of you. I'm extremely proud of you. And I genuinely believe that, I believe it's been worth your time. I believe it's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing ride with you. I actually genuinely I had a great time with court too. And I think I always have great times, but I really felt very, very excited about this court. This court really showed up. And trust me, this court actually planned this program. They were a major part of the planning committee of this program. So a number of the things you saw, some of the videos, the publicity videos and all of that were done by them. No, sir, our host is one of the court members. So please help me congratulate them for having gone through this mentorship in the last 16 weeks. We had assignments, we had projects, we had so many things. So we have a video just to say congratulations to you guys that I'm going to be playing like right about now. I think this should be it. Yep, it is.
Congratulations on your graduation today. I celebrate your resilience in the last 14 weeks. I am so proud of the woman you're becoming, and I'm really, really excited to see all that you will continue to achieve as you continue on this your journey of emergence. Congratulations again.
Oh my God, like, was that something or what? Like, even just the beauty, like, my God, like, in my head, I'm like, so mega beautiful. My God, so beautiful, so beautiful. Like, this is amazing. And okay, this is now feeling like I'm actually kind of emotional. I'm really going to miss you guys. I'm really, 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 really going to miss you guys. And the beautiful thing is that, you know, we still get to do life together. Like I've told you guys, we still get to do life together. We're going to have to do, of course, we're going to do quarter 3 together when we bring in new people who you are going to be peer mentors to. Like, you know, our quarter 1 was peer mentor to you. And for people who might be wondering, okay, this all of these things people are talking about, how do you? Oh, amazing. Amazing. That's so good. How do you be a part of this? So the quarter 3 wait list is actually on from today. The Emerging Women the Emerging Women Circle is a, you know what, let me share my screen from this end. I think Moni, do you want to speak a bit about this? Or do you want me to do that?
You can do that, ma.
Okay, sure, thank you. So the circle is basically the mentoring arm of the Emerging Women Project. So we have like 3 major arms of the Emerging Women the Emerging Women Project. We have the arm that forms all of these events that we do, the summit, the conference, and all of that. We have the arm that is dedicated to the 16 Emerging Women Awards, which we're still going to talk about very soon, because we have our 2025 sets coming up on board, and I'm so excited. They are third class of awardees, and then we have the mentoring arm. The mentoring arm is really probably the sweetest part of this for me, because those are the people I actually get to work with for a longer time and a lot more closely. Like we get to, you know, imagine that we have this kind of conversation every 2 weeks, and, you know, in a closer, intimate circle where you can actually ask questions, and, you know, you get to really have assignment that helps you think about these kind of things. So the quarter 2 graduated officially today, and then the quarter 3 has a wait list. So it's an application-based thing, in the sense that it's not everyone. We usually have a lot more application than the space that we have. And so we usually advise that, you know, if you can join the wait list, so that as soon as the application opens, you are one of the first people that know. The date for the quarter 3 is not decided yet, just that you can scan this or you can use the link. Can we please, I hope the link is dropped in the chat. Oh, thank you, Nosa. Nosa has dropped the link. So here's the link for you to just, all we need from you is just your name and your email, so that as soon as the wait list is available, you can be a part of it. I'm sure that, you know, if you want to know a bit more about what happens in there, we're still going to have a very short panel session with people from Core 2 who are going to share some of their thoughts and all of that. But yeah, that is that. So I think I can officially put off all of those parts. Congratulations to my women. So amazing to have you guys. So amazing to have worked with you guys in the last 3 or 4 months, about 4 months. And like I said, looking forward to all that we do together from here. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I am the one unveiling the 16 award. Oh my God, this is the most exciting part for me. The exciting part. So no, but you guys have to let me know that you are ready before I do this. So I have the absolute honor. I just saw that I was the one doing that. I didn't realize I was going to be the one to do it. The absolute honor to introduce our 16 Emerging Women Awardees of 2025. You guys have to, yes, please. I need to see a lot of we are ready in the chat before I do it. So for people who might not know so much, we have the 16 Emerging Women Award was really created from the standpoint of, you know, there's all of these amazing awards that we do on IWD that is always focused on, you know, women who we feel like they have arrived. But the goal of this award was to show that, you know, we see women where they are. We don't need them to arrive anywhere to celebrate them. So these are women from all aspect of life. Even the way we designed our application was not designed in terms of what are the great things you are doing. Is that how do you see yourself? How do you think of yourself? How do you see your life in that sense where greatness is not just a place, is what you are walking in the everyday. And as much as we always love to actually, give to make everyone who apply awardees, because this year we had over 200 applications. We only had to limit ourselves to 16 women. So I'm sure that even if you applied and you didn't get in, you already saw our email. We genuinely think that you are just as amazing, significant as everyone on the award list, but we only have a constrained number. So first of all, I think one of the exciting things that I'm always liking about the 16 women awardees is the fact that every one of them, apart from people who already were part of the emerging circle, that's the mentorship arm, every one of them get an automatic slot into whatever into the next cohort of the mentoring circle. So I can say a lot of ready. So I have an amazing video to share with you guys about our 16 emerging women of 2025. Are you guys ready? Please, I need more drum rolls. I'm still waiting for more drum rolls. Drum rolls, please. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Where are my drum rolls? Oh, my drum rolls are okay. They're already. Okay. Thank you. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Okay. I am going to be playing the video, and then I'll play the video. I'll share the flyer. And then we usually have what we call the emerge folio, which is a documentation of their story. So we have a PDF that you can download and all of that. We'll share all of that with you in this. So this is where we officially inaugurate it before we then start sharing on social media and all of that. Okay, I can see that we are ready. This is always very exciting for me. Ready. Okay. Introducing the 16 emerging women of 2025. Let's go. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. I'm always really excited about this, like really excited, because, usually I get the privilege to read their stories, and it's always really, I don't know, just super excited. officially presenting the 16 emerging women of 2025, our 16 emerging ladies. Congratulations, 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 congratulations. Thank you, guys. I have one last video to share with you, and then I'll be out of your face to bring in our to bring in my people. Okay, I'm trying to find the video. Okay, sorry, I just found it. I'm so sorry. We had a number of exciting videos that we are always sharing. Yeah, congratulations. Like this is always super exciting. They actually already knew themselves. They knew themselves because, of course, we send them emails. It was so beautiful. Congratulations, Adiriola. Yes, we're going to share all of these links to all of these videos. They are all available. They are on YouTube already, I think. Yeah, so I think for everyone who registered, we're also going to, send you the link to the videos and all of that. Yeah. Congratulations. So we usually have what we call the folio. I think that's the last thing I should talk about. The folio is a compilation of their stories. And the interesting thing about the folio, if you ask me, is the fact that they themselves don't usually know that we do it. They don't always know. We just ask them questions, and they don't know why we ask them that question. So I'm sure that they themselves will be just as shocked to learn to find the folio as every other person will be. I think that's one surprise that we always like to give, if that's the word to use, to sort of add to this. Yeah, that's always one aspect of a surprise that's always exciting for me. The fact that the emerging women themselves don't know that, we document their story. And I'm about to share I was trying to share a video, but for some reason I'm not able to get the video right now. Okay, I have the video now. Amazing. I have the video now. We usually have a lot of video today, and it's part of the thing that makes this very exciting. Okay, I think that will be my last video. Okay, that will be my last video. Okay, so we have the Emerge, which is a compilation of the stories of who they are, what they do, their hopes for the world, their dreams, their stories. First of all, like every time I look at this cover page, it does me like, oh my God, this is too beautiful. Like, that's the word. It's too beautiful. And I've been looking at Omolade's picture, who is our cover person. She had no idea. I'm like, how can somebody be fine for like 100 people like this? Like, every time it puts me in my emotions. Yeah, Omolade, yeah. I'm sure that it's shocking to everyone involved because they don't know that there's going to be a document. But we have the image folio where we document your stories, where we document, what you told us about yourself, what you told us about what you are hoping to see in the world, how you hope to contribute. And then we have a place that has all of your bios. I'm hoping that this link is being shared in the chat as I'm speaking.
So there's a place to learn more about them and also download this particular folio that I'm talking about. It's giving Forbes vibe, of course. Why not? We do everything with excellence. That's the spirit. That is the spirit here. But particular, like this one just gives me, it gives me like, it's so beautiful. It's just beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that way. Like it's just beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful. And congratulations to you guys. Really, 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 really congratulations. Really, really congratulations to you guys. We're so excited to have, we're so privileged to have heard your story. We're so excited to have learn more about you, to see how you are trudging through the world, fearless, audacious, being refusing to be reduced to your accomplishments, understanding that your life is bigger than what people might want to constrain you into, either your failures or your fears, your trials or your triumphs, understanding that your life is bigger than that. We are so impressed by your stories, and we thought that it was amazing. It will also be a good thing to share with the world, how you think of yourself, what you're doing in the world, how you are contributing, and all of the great stride that you're doing. Thank you so much. So the whole document has every other person. This was just a cover image of the folio. It's our magazine for the 16 award women. So basically we have a video, we have a flyer, then we have a magazine, and then we have a place. I think the link has been shared. Thank you, Nosa. That's the link that Nosa just shared. That's where you get to see everybody, and also you get to download. Download the folio in that place. You see their names, you see you see their bio, so their bio is on that side, and then you can download the folio to learn even more about them. Okay, I think I can turn over right now, right? I can turn over. Who am I turning over to? I think I'm turning over to Nosa. Nosa, am I turning over to you or to Omotunde?
Omotunde.
Amazing, thank you. So we have a short panel session with our currently graduating set, about 3 people from our currently graduating emerging circle or 2, who get to also, some of these things that we've shared, also hearing it, not from the perspective of people you might think that, oh, they've gone ahead of you, they are speakers and all of that, but also people who are everyone like us, and basically, what their experience was like in the mentoring, how it connects to all of these things, what were the biggest insight that they learned, almost like giving you a bit of a crash course of some of the things that we learned in the mentorship. So you really should thank them. Hi, Omotunde, are you here? And someone is asking
Hello,
for...
Ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So I'm going to be
Awesome.
making you host so that you can add others, and then I'm going to be pinning you, replacing the spotlights. Oh my God, you're looking cute.
Thank you, you too, Ma. It's so nice to see you.
So for today.
It's so nice to see you. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
So who else am I adding to join you? Could you please give me...
All right. Yes, there's Ebube, there's Olamide, and there's Tumomi, Ayotumomi.
Okay, so everyone that I have to add, could you please help me? Maybe by raising your hand or something, so it's easier to find you. So did you said Ebere, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ebere.
Okay,
Thank you.
Olamide. I need to add Ebere. Okay. And then I'm adding Ayotumomi, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ebere, thank you, please. Could you, if you could raise your hand, it's going to make this really easier for me. I'm trying to add, not replace. And I don't know why. Ebere, you raise your hand now. Can you please do it again?
Yeah, she's here.
I'm going to have to hard pin so that I'm able to just hard pin. Who else have I not added? Okay, Barry is the last person I need to add. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Okay, I think I have everyone. Do I?
Yes, I can see everyone on my screen as well. So thank you.
So are we having people also put on their video so at least people can see the people they're talking to? Olamide, I saw you.
Yes, please. Please, you can if that's comfortable for you, but it would be nice if you can. So we lost Ayotumami. Is she here? Oh, awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, good evening once again. Can everyone confirm that my voice is loud and clear?
Good evening. Very
All
loud.
right, thank
Very
you. Thank you
good
so
evening.
much. Thank you so much, Ayodimami. All right, congratulations once again to every person who is now being awarded as an emerging woman. Congrats, congrats, congrats. It's a privilege and a great honor to be moderating this session that will contribute to the quality conversations that's been going on in the room from the awesome women that we've been privileged to have here. Thank you so much. I have been learning a lot and my notes are definitely full. So to not waste more time, hi Olamide, hi Ayodumomi, hi Ebere. So I'll be asking, so we're having this session, so just like Ms. Toyin said earlier, this is a session for women who have been in the last cohort, the mentorship cohort that just ended, so the latest graduates. Congratulations once again, guys. I pray that everything you've learned will stay with you through life. Right, so my first question, right, and it's just to ease into the conversation. So I was going to ask you, Olamide, since I can see Ayodumomi on my screen directly. So Ayodumomi, I want to ask you, if you were to describe yourself to someone without mentioning your name or mentioning directly what you do, how would you describe yourself or introduce yourself? So if your network is glitchy, maybe turn off your video for a bit.
I'm sorry, I think there was a bit of lag. I didn't hear you.
Oh, you didn't catch my question. So take it again, no problem. So I'm saying if you were to introduce yourself to someone you've always wanted to meet, and you could not mention your name, and you could not mention directly what you do, yes, how would you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'd like to say good evening once again to everyone. Thank you, Coach C, for this opportunity and for sharing this platform with you. Okay, I think all of our speakers today have even given lots of expose into this answer. And it also sort of crystallizes all that we have been learning for 16 weeks. Okay, so for me, Ayo is a person of integrity, and the core of my being is service and love. So if you're looking for love, if you're looking for service, if it's integrity, then that's me, you know. So like you said, we now have to look away from BSc in whatever, and we now have to focus on, the core of our person. That is who you really are when all of these titles, all of these things are taken away. So in summary, I'm the core of my person is service and love, and I layer all of that on integrity. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. But I said you should not mention your name, but you mentioned your name. But it's nice to know that you're a person of integrity. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll take Ebere on that as well. But Ebere, I want you to, I'm adding something. What's something that you most likely be caught doing? Right. So and please keep it very, succinct. Yeah, thank you because of time, because we still have a number of questions to go into. But yeah, Ebere. If you want me to take the
Hi
question again,
everyone.
I will. Yeah,
No,
okay.
it's fine. I'm really sorry. I have to turn off my video. It's a
Absolutely
bit
good.
dark here already. Yeah,
Okay, can
so
I turn off my video too? Sorry.
Yes, please, if that helps.
Okay.
I would say for me, I believe the best way to describe myself is, first of all, of course, I'm a child of God. I don't know, but for me, that's one of the first ways I would always describe myself. And then the second thing is, I would say I'm an equiper. I would call myself an equiper, because apart from myself and the fact that it's something I find myself doing, whether it's not something I have to put some work into doing. It comes natural to me, and it's something I just find myself doing involuntarily with the people I love, with strangers, with everybody. So it's something you would definitely find me doing at every instance, equipping others,
Right. Thank
encouraging
you.
people, and enabling them to live life to full potential.
Beautiful. The E in your name is for equipping and enabler. I see it. It was given from get-go. Awesome. Very nice to know you. Olamide, you now. So what's something you will not be caught doing? So I want to switch that up so it's more fun and interesting.
All right, thank you, Omotunde. Good evening,
Right.
everybody. Good evening, Mrs. C. Thank you so much for this past weeks. All right, what's something I will not be caught doing? At the very core of my being, let me answer this way.
All right, can I pause you? So nothing serious. It could just be food or anything. So this was supposed to be very light, but you all are spitting fire already. We'll get to that bit. But this was supposed to be very lighthearted. So yeah, it doesn't have, so it could be anything you will not be caught eating or something, anything random.
Okay, well, I won't be caught arguing. It's
See your boy
very
self.
rare to catch me arguing. Very, very rare.
Lovely.
Like a
Lovely.
loud argument.
I like the qualifying adjective of loud arguments. Yeah, very beautiful. All right, awesome. Very nice to get to know you ladies better. So my first question, right, and Olamide, since you're spotlighted right now, I will pose it directly to you. So I want you to think back on Olamide of before the emerging woman, right? Before the mentorship, right? And you must have been one of those that mentioned that, or one of the things that you wanted to gain from this was clarity, right? About purpose and all of that with the mentorship cohort with Mrs. C. So now I want to ask you that, what is one major mindset shift that you have garnered through your interaction with the mentorship?
All right, thank you so much for that question. If there's anything I have learned in these previous weeks, is the fact that I am a human being. Like it really dawned on me in a different way that I am a human being. During the course of the program, I was going through this book by Cindy Trims. And then she was asking that question too, that who are you? It's just like what Mrs. C has been saying. It's so easy to say, okay, I'm this. In fact, initially, okay, now that I've learned about this thing, I should be able to define it better. But it was funny that the first thing that was coming to my mind was, okay, I'm a daughter, I'm a this, and I'm like, I had to now calm down, and then, okay, no, this is not it. So if there's any realization that has really dawned on me, it is the fact that before any other thing, I think that's what has really been striking, even in our conversation today. Before anything else, I am a human being, and I that's just a human being made and created in the image of God. That's one of the most striking things that I can say that has really resonated with me through this program.
Thank you so much, Olamide. That's very beautiful. And I think that's wholesome that you see yourself as that woman who is created in God's image to reflect God's glory. And I think that's what we've been having conversations around here today. Thank you so much. Ayodunmomi, are you available to speak? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. So I want you to take a shot at the question as well. What's one major mindset shift? So Olamide has mentioned that is, knowing that she's a human being created in God's image. So for you, what would that be? That major mindset shift that you're leaving this mentorship cohort with?
Okay, thank you very much. I came looking for a thing, like I came to craft a big vision for my life. I came to, all those dream big, and I just wanted to do all of that. Well, as the classes progressed, I realized that it's a journey, and I just needed to come to terms with the peculiarity of my journey. And that is one of the things I loved the most about the classes that we have had. The classes recognized the peculiarity of our life season. It didn't just recognize it also treated it as such. So, I mean, as such, we had different people doing different things, and everybody, I was looking for a thing, one, I just wanted to have questions, answer like at once. But I realized that the questions were not going to be answered at once. They were going to be answered step by step by step. So I was able to focus on where I am right now. And, from there, just been able to chart my course. So basically, is realizing that my life is a journey, and whatever I know, like the Bible says that we know in parts. Whatever I want to know, I wanted to know everything, but I realized that I can just know the bits that I can at this stage that I am. Whatever I still want to know, that big thing will progress gradually. It will progress gradually. So I came to really realize that what I'm looking for is not one thing, one answer, just one thing, that it's a journey. So I was able to come really into that realization that my life is a journey. And I had to agree with myself that that is exactly what it is and not just one thing. Thank you.
And mommy, I think that's so profound, knowing that your life is evolving essentially, and you are on a journey. And I know that that's really something that Ms. Tope and Ms. Tolu highlighted during the panel session as well. That is who you are every day, not just during some season or some facet of some phase of life that life describes, but is who you are every single day when you wake up, when you even do the most normal things in life. I think that's very beautiful. Thank you for reminding us of that in your own words. Ebere, yes, same question at you. So Olamide has said that, she's confident of the fact that she's a human being created in God's image. Ayodemomi has said that, yes, she's super confident that now like a life story is a journey that is evolving. What is that one mindset shift that you have come to own and nobody can take it away from you? But we want to learn from it.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, I mean, this question is very exciting for me. I don't know if I don't even know why. And I feel like I can just give one. I don't know if you'd mind, but I'm going to make it as short as possible.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, so the first thing is it just took away overwhelm from me completely. Right now, and I feel like I'm in this state of rest where I'm doing things I know I should be doing, and I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not under any form of pressure. I'm just, doing it like it should be done and how it should be done, and I'm just really content and happy with my life. And then the second thing I know that really stood out for me was the section we had on money, right? Where no, not money now, marriage. Let me talk about the marriage section where she said that marriage is an environment. I can never forget that statement. It's an enabling environment that we've been planted in for us to thrive and to function. It's not, how we say it's a partnership, it's this, vision alignment and all those goals. It just made me it changed my mindset to really appreciate what really matters in marriage, which is the sense of peace and safety that you get to have when you're married to the right person, which I feel is really, really being undermined. And we focus more on the alignment, goals and vision and all those big things. And then the last thing I would really want to point out is I think it was on the conversation around service, where she said that we are not superior to the people we've been called to serve. There are so many other mindset shifts that were really, really striking, that stood out for me. But I will just talk about these three. And to be honest, I feel like my life has completely changed within the past 4 months, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you.
So, Ebere, I can literally hear the thrill in your voice, and you know that one is not trying to come up with something when you can tell that they want to talk about it so much. And so thank you for sharing that and bringing us into your words to let us know that your word has been truly transformed, and it's so evident in your voice. Thank you so much for sharing that this mentorship has affected almost every facet of your life. Thank you. So I'll go to my next question, right? And that will be just so we've covered, prior to coming to the mentorship. Now you were in a mentorship, and I'm aware that you all had to execute some keystone projects. So I want you, Olamide, to please talk to me about your project and how you were able to put everything that you learned into action. So your project side by side, deploying the actionable strategies that Mrs. C shared with you throughout the course of the mentorship sessions.
Can you hear me?
Loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thank you for that question. Well, my project was seemingly simple, but it was very helpful for me. Now I'll tell you about my project. My project was on journaling. As the mentorship progressed, I realized that there were really so many things I needed to process, especially after the mindsets mindsets module. Like, how it is that there are some things that are actually happening as subconscious that we're not even aware of. And one thing I discovered was that writing kind of puts writing makes an exact man, according to Francis Bacon. And he actually just like bring your mind into the now. So what I tried to do with my project was to kind of excavate and see, okay, why do I feel this way about certain things? Why do I respond to people this way? Why do I react to certain situations this way? I really wanted to, and it was really powerful, because it looked like a kind of a burden was lifted off me. And yes, I still in fact, it's an ongoing journey for me, because it's something that I'm still continuing, because there's a way at the end of the day when I journal, okay, what happened today? I found out, I literally found out some things about myself, and it's just been so revealing. What happened today? Okay, why did you respond that way? Okay, this must be connected to this thing that happened at a particular time. Okay, going forward, what do you need to do? Okay, if I don't have anything, like any solution for that particular issue at that time, okay, I'll just pen it down and say, okay, I'm still uncovering, or God help me, or something. And it's been really revealing. Another thing the journaling experience did for me was, in our conversation, I kind of like, that was what was just coming to my mind when I was listening to panelists the other time during the first panel session, when we were talking about finding a quiet space that is just between you and God, where you can really hold on to the anchor, where you can really hold on to the anchor of your life when all the great things begins to happen. For me, that journaling was that safe space. That journaling was that quiet space. I need to, okay, sit down, connect with my soul, actually, because whatever we do, because that's what service is about, actually, is an outflow of who we are. And for we to be able to do something that will be that would be connected, or that will really flow from who we are, which will make it really a which will make the service worth it, or truly impactful. It has to flow from our hearts. But first of all, we have to connect with our soul. We have to connect with who we are. And I think that's what that journaling did for me or is doing for me, because like my Mommy said, it is a process, it is a journey which I'm still on, and I'm just really grateful for that experience. Thank you.
I feel like clapping for you. And if I was expecting to see that you all would clap, because you said this project was pretty simple, as if it didn't have effect. But like, oh my God, this was very transformative. And even you sharing the aftermath of what the project did for you is convincing and even encouraging me myself that I'm listening to you. So thank you very much for sharing that. And I really like what you said about how that it was sort of like an excavation and a means to really connect with yourself, because it's really yourself that you carry to wherever it is that you're going to, right? So it's important that, and I think, I mean, what better or greater project than the one that you actually do for yourself? So thank you once again, Olamide. And again, that project was not simple, because journaling is not easy at all, right? And you have embodied it so well. I feel like you can literally moderate a session on journaling with everything that you shared. Thank you once again. All right. Ebere, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So I would also like to know what your Keystone project was and how you were able to apply everything that you learned during the mentorship.
Well, okay. So I would like
I
to
like
say
the
first of all,
wow.
before talking about my, I would like to say first of all, before talking about my project, there's this thing Miss Toyin said one time that has really stood out for me. In fact, there's so many of them, but let me still say this one. She said that um how did she say it again? You know, like when you
Is it just me or we lost
try
Ebere's
to talk to people,
voice?
it carries as in gives spirit. Or remembers that section when she said something like that. That it's who you are that gives life. Yes, it's who you
Ebere,
are that
we
gives life.
actually want
It
to
is
hear that thing that Mrs. C said. So can you take it again? Because network threw you out. Can you hear me? Oh no. Ebere,
yes,
can you hear
yes.
me?
Sorry. Yeah, I think the network cut me out. So I was just wanted to make that
Yes,
point. Then I'll talk.
please. Yeah, and we want you to make the point. So please say it again. Oh no. Do
About
you
my
mind
project
rejoining?
because after that after doing the ship and especially after yeah, so after the meaning section, my project was about setting up a business out of, I don't know if you can see. Okay, so my project was on setting up a business startup facility for girls, where girls that had trained on various skills can
I need to drop a chat so Iberi can see that we keep
Yeah.
start their own business,
Hi Iberi.
right? And I had this project in mind right way before. What I did was I had to go back to rehabilitate because it was what I sorry. Hi.
Hi,
Hi
Can
Iberi.
you hear
Ebere.
me?
We can't really hear you, and we really want to hear you. So do you mind troubleshooting your network, and we'll come back to you while Ayodemomi attempts to share what her project is, or was rather. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, please. We really want to hear you. Don't let
Okay.
network do anything. Please troubleshoot it and come back and let us hear about that facility project for girls. Thank you. Mommy, please, you can go. Please share what
Okay.
your project was. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Omotunde. I had two things. I think I highlighted I was going to do two things. The first was to read Driven, and one of the books recommended. Can you hear me, please? And the second was to write a book. There's been this idea that I've heard that as a child of God, when God highlights an idea, you still be dragging, do I not do it? So immediately the project was launched. I decided I was going to make those two things my project. I've read Driven like 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't feel like I've read the book. You know, I I read I read it twice. I shared it with my husband. We didn't finish. I shared it with my siblings. We all read it. I shared all my teammates, and it still feels like I've not read it. And I loved the fact that the life of Coach Toyin layers on our spirituality. You read the book, laugh and laugh, sometimes cry about yourself, and you're like, God, what? So the book is one book I recommend to everybody. It's like one book that is, one size fits all book. And, that book has just been very, very helpful on my journey. It has been, and the fact that I love the fact that she documented her life, and people can also make reference to it. I loved the book. That's the first part of my project. Maybe I'll find a way to tie it together later. The second part was the book titled "Speak." It's a daily affirmation. Still in line with what we learned in the community, the mentoring calls. So I said I was going to write it down. And Coach Toyin talked about not just producing excellence, but being an excellent person, having a process in place such that you can always reproduce. If you recall the session on mastery, where you can always reproduce, automation predictably, you can repeat your process predictably. People can predict that you can do something very, very good, So I brought all my ideas together, and I just put the book. I told myself I was going to just put the book together. I was going to get someone to organize it for me. It's just a short book. It's a daily affirmation. I do that, but I needed to put the work together. So it got to the stage of publishing. I didn't know what to do. So it was at that time that, as a director, I had a birthday. So I had to reach out to her. She did something. So I learned collaboration. So I had to learn, how did you do it? And she gave me a guide on how to go about it. And in fact, just today I had to register an account on Seller. So that was what I did in the course of um the mentoring call, the project actually. So basically I learned how to manage, TEAR, time, energy, and attention. I had to learn to put everything together. You won't say you want to do something, you just pull yourself together to get it done. I'm not there yet, honestly. There's still pull left and right, but at the end of it all, like I said about the book Dreaming, it's that book that made me see into the soul of the our coach. And I saw that everything is spiritual, like everything is really layered on spirituality. So it was a call for me to go back, to really layer my life on spirituality. And that's one thing I took from that phase of the coaching that will never leave me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ayodunmomi, about your project and how it transformed you. Thank you. Ebere, can you speak now clearly? Do you want to try?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, please.
Okay, I'm really sorry about the network glitches earlier. Okay, so I was saying the project I worked on at the mentorship was, so the project I had, I think prior to joining the mentorship, setting up a facility for girls to be able to start up their own businesses. Girls who cannot afford to, who do not have capital or support to start their businesses after they've learned skills. So during the course of the mentorship, I started reevaluating why I was even doing this project in the first place. And I started asking myself questions as to, is it because it was good for the public image, or is it because it was giving me some false sense of fulfillment? So I started asking the right questions, and I really identified that, okay, this was the right thing for me to do. And besides the project, I also had something I was doing with girls in a school. We started this leadership club for girls. So I had to do like a total overhaul on the curriculum of within the club. This month and this year, January, after the project, I had to change the curriculum of the club. We started conversations on identity, and we've been talking about identity for the past 3 weeks. And it's been mind blowing, the things that the girls are learning, and even what I myself, the things that are being revealed to me about myself and how to the things that God has called me to do. And then finally, talking about the book Driven, I really wanted to talk about that book because it literally changed my life. To be honest, it literally changed my life such that because I said something earlier that Miss Toyin said, when you talk to people, the it's who you are is what gives life to what the things you say. So it's really stood out for me, and I started questioning because I talk to girls a lot, and when she was, especially when she talks to
Oh my God. Network.
Oh, so we cannot hear Ebere again. That's not very nice. But just wait for a few seconds to see if she comes back, and we'll continue. Okay. For one of time, we have to proceed. I hope Ebere can join back so we wrap up this conversation with her. But yes, to pick on what Ebere said, when she was introducing herself, she really said she was an enabler and an equiper. And it's beautiful to see that our project clearly expands that she's really, truly that enabler and, doing awesome things for women. So very quickly, I just want to ask you, Ayodumomi, I can see you on my screen, so I'd go for you first. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Yes, so for any woman that is looking to join the Emerging Women cohorts, the circle and mentorship cohort,
Are you still
why
speaking?
would
I
you
didn't
say?
get that.
Yes,
I
I
didn't get your
am.
question.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can now.
All right. This network,
Yes.
share the word of the Lord. Okay. Yes. So saying that for any woman or lady out there who is looking to, so who's being in the room that was invited here and it's like, oh my God, these things that these women are saying, I want to be deep, right? Like Miss Ayotumomi, right? Why will you recommend that they join this mentorship platform, this emerging women circle? Why would you say, okay, this is the reason why you must join this thing? Yes.
Okay, maybe I think I can do that in one sentence. TUC will teach you how to think, like to think about
Love
your
it.
life.
Love it.
Yes. You do a lot of self-introspection, those take-homes. I listened to the classes, like maybe apart from the one on marriage, and I missed the last class. I had to catch up later. I listened to the classes like 2 to 3 times at least before I can answer those questions. So the emerging circle, like, and if you really want to know yourself, really, most times you think the answer is outside. The answer is really not outside. The answer is inside. So TEC will teach you how to think. And I really think that's what's critical. TEC will teach you how to think, like how to really, really think. Then TEC will take the pressure of life off you. You're not looking at your neighbor, you're not looking at other people. It helps you have this laser focus. You're focused on your journey, you're focused on your life. And more importantly for me, we have a coach whose life and words are inseparable. Like they are one. So it's so easy to just fit into. So if anyone is listening and wondering, what do they even do inside that circle self? It's really a place to be. It's a place that will really help you to think. Most times our life is we run on the subconscious, on the unconscious. our life is, pretty automated. We just do things, as we have been trained to do them. So TEC helps you to dig the unconscious. It helps you bring it to the conscious such that you can question everything. And as you question, you're able to identify the things that should be out and the things that should really be, in your life. And like I said, in one word, it just helps you to think and really reevaluate your journey. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Olamide, please, can we have you as well? We're out of time now, but Olamide, very quickly, please, why should anybody join the Emerging Women Circle?
Okay, two things. The Emerging Circle is awesome. And I like to think of it as something every woman needs if true impact is actually the goal. Yes, impact can be in any way, but the one that lasts, true impact, if that's the goal, then I think this mentorship circle will be an helpful guide, because it's like something that you can always fall back to at different points in our journey. You can always come back to it, okay, because it's like a foundation. Yes, let me put it that way. The circle itself is a foundation, something that you can literally climb on. Yes, gives you a balance. What I'm saying in essence is that it is awesome. It is basically a tool guide. If true impact really is what, and I think that's what every woman should desire, then the mentorship circle will really be helpful. It will really be helpful. It is rounded. I think it looks like I'm saying the same thing, but
awesome,
like,
yes.
but I'm
Yes,
remembering,
I hear
and
you.
as some things are coming to my mind, like it just keeps like
Yes.
It's rounded, everything. And another thing is that when you come, you literally be transformed. There are some things that I'm observing about myself that, it's not like shouting, like you're just noticing, oh, this thing that actually changed. And, it's just good to be in a community. Yes, it's a community too, where you get to meet like-minded people that can help you think towards your journey. I think that's just it, basically, for me.
Olamide, you have put it so well. And for every woman in the room who is looking to join, you have your reasons. It's wholesome, it's a system, it's foundational, it's awesome. Every good thing that you can think of as regards impact, you can be sure that you'd find it in the Emerging Women Circle. Thank you, everyone. We have come to the end of this panel session. I did glean a lot from these women. Truly, they have emerged. And thank you so much for sharing this moment of your life with me. Thank you so much. I will turn over to Nusan now.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone that has contributed so far in this panel session. It's really exciting to see that we gleaned so much from this mentorship that we just graduated from. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you for giving your heart to it. It has been so wonderful. Thank you. And now to wrap it up, we're going to have a very brief Q&A session. Honestly, most questions that could possibly be on the hearts of everyone here are questions that have been answered by the speakers in one way or the other, because I've been wanting to start like a channel on femininity. It's something that I've been thinking about. But coming here this evening and then seeing the way the speakers have put it out, especially in the panel session that Mrs. C moderated, it just, how do I say, it somewhat validated the ideas I already had. And now I'm interested in doing much more research to actually start that channel, because I'm seeing that, oh, I wasn't actually wrong. And the idea that I had is actually very valid. It's something that other people can also see. So virtually every part of this entire summit has had something that will hit home, will provide clarity to questions, sometimes even questions that we did not know that we had. And honestly, as during the first, no, was that the keynote? No, it was during the first panel session when they were talking about when greatness comes, what will you do next? I like writing, and immediately I picked up my phone and I started writing. And now my Medium page, I have posted something on my Medium page about when greatness comes, what will you do next? Like within this brief summit, it just came to me and I put it out and I wrote it. So this has been so good. Now, question and answer section. Any question that is in your heart, please feel free to drop it in the chat box. Any question in your heart, whatsoever it is, because any question I could possibly want to conjure, the speakers have already covered it in one way or the other. They have already covered it. But now to you, what question is in your heart? If you feel like they have not responded in a particular way, or you want to give some specific details that will enable the speakers fine tune it to you, or if it's something that you're too shy to ask right now, let me put the there's you can send to Mrs. C's email address. I'll put it in the chat box right now. I'll put in the chat box right now so they can you can just send it there, because we have actually already spent a lot of time. So I'll put it in the chat box right now so that we can just round up. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It has been a wonderful time learning with you, learning from you, and I'm excited for what is going to come out of me. Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you so much. I want to hand over to Mrs. C now to just wrap it up. Thank you so much. Hi, Mrs. C.
I'm right here. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. This has been such, as in, I learned a lot from, the panel session we just had. It was amazing to hear some of these things and seeing how, this thing became lifestyles in the way that, the women were talking. And yes, I just wanted to say thank you again to everyone, particularly people who waited to this very end. I know we've been here for like about 3.5 hours now. Thank you. I hope you have an amazing International Women's Day, and I hope you continue to, revel in the wonder that you have as a woman, and you continue to, grow that heart of confidence, that heart of who you are, beyond the labels. You continue to find yourself in a way that, that is true to you, a way that, removes the pressure. I think that's probably one of the things that's really going to stay a lot with me from, the panel session we just concluded. The idea that, the emerging circle took away the pressure. And I was really excited to hear that, because that was one of my intentions. That was one of the things that I felt like was the most important thing that I was trying to, achieve with that mentorship, is to bring women back to a place where you can be and do great things, minus all of the pressure, in a way that is true to you, in a way that does not feel as if the world is upon you, in a way where there's just a heart of freedom. And I hope you continue to, find that level of freedom in your soul, in the world. You are able to live, live fully and live freely. Thank you so much, everybody. And can you please use the chat to please say thank you, particularly to all of everyone in the team who have made this work. Trust me, this has been the labor of love of so many people. Thank you. Thank you, Nosa, who has been our host and who has, done a lot of work around our publicity. Thank you to everyone in the emerging women or two who have contributed to this one or the other. Either you publicized, you shared, you did a video, you wrote a text. I'm sure, this has actually been a work of a whole army, trust me. Thank you to our circle director for cohort 2, Moni Olua, to our community manager for cohort 2, Temi Tope, to all of the other people that helped them. Wonderful. Esther, thank you so much. And I particularly want to say a special thank you to, we technically did not give her a position because she works directly with me, in terms of she did not have a name in quote in the Emerging Women Project. That's Kehinde Agbola. But trust me, she's the power behind literally everything that you've said. There's no part of this that Kehinde's hand is not in. Thank you so much, Kehinde. You have been, I feel like you yourself are a good example
of what it means to be an emerging woman. I really believe so. You know, how your story and your work and your life has evolved over the years is a wonder to behold. Thank you. Like there's no how any of this could have been done without you. Thank you so much for the labor of love that you've done, the ones you did in public, the ones you did in private. Thank you. Thank you so much, Omotade. Thank you to all of our emerging women from cohort 1 who were peer mentors in cohort 2. You guys, I hope that, you know, there's a scripture in my heart. I'm a Christian girl and I'm a Bible person. When we were talking about Jesus, we were saying we'll see the labor of his soul and be satisfied. I hope that, you know, hearing from some of our emerging women cohort 2, you know, it brought you to a point that, you know, that brought you to a sense of satisfaction that, you know, of contributing to this, because this has been a success on every hand. Thank you, every single person. Thank you. And thank you for everyone who was here. You know, if we've never met before, maybe you just heard about this. Thank you for coming. Thank you. As in, I have so many thank yous to do. So let me just, if I keep doing this, thank you, probably not leave here. You can already see that, you know, there are so many people involved in this. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Women's Month. You know, you have a wonderful Women's Day. And beyond the days and the months, you continue to have a wonderful life of being a Wonder Woman. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm just going to play songs so that I don't have to, you know, yeah. Let me just play some songs if you're interested.
He is, and is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. We know you are a rewarder of those who diligently seek your face. All power is in your hands. With you, nothing is impossible to do. Everybody say, we know you are a rewarder of those who diligently seek your face. Say all power is in your hands, and with you nothing is impossible to do. Somebody say it one more time. Say we know you are a rewarder of those who diligently seek your face. All power is in your hands. With you, nothing is impossible to do. Somebody lift your hands with me. Say this is the confidence. This is the confidence that when we come to you, what you cannot fix, what you cannot do, what you cannot sort us not see. Somebody say, what you cannot do, what wave your hands.